and welcome to Party Select, a podcast where two dudes and a guy who's their friend talk about the best thing there is, video games. My name is Shay. I am your host for this episode. I am joined, as always, or as like almost always,
that's true,
by my dudes and guys. Cody, what's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going?
And Kyle, what's up, guy?
Hey, can't I be your dude, not your guy, friend?
I'm not your buddy, pal.
You're not
your
my
pal.
buddy, friend.
Friend.
Welcome to Party Select, everybody. We are so delighted to have you here with us listening and or watching, or maybe just vibing.
Yeah,
maybe just
vibing.
looking, not even watching, passively consuming. That's like the ideal state, for, especially for YouTube content.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I love being consumed so much.
Especially when it's passively.
Yes.
That's like my favorite way to be consumed.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a podcast about video games. We're going to talk a good amount about video games on this episode. Before we get into the agenda for the episode, I do have a quick question, which is, what is y'all's Ninja Turtle of choice? It's harder to say than Turtle of choice. Ninja Turtle of choice. Weird vowel sounds.
Okay.
Kyle, what's your Ninja Turtle of choice?
I really like Leonardo. I'm a sword guy. What can I say?
Okay.
I'm a sword guy. What can I say? I like Leonardo.
My default was to assume Raphael, red, your favorite color.
Yeah, but Raph is a dick. He's a huge dick.
Okay.
And I'm enough of a dick in real life. I don't need to like pine for that in my fiction.
Yeah. I hear that.
Yeah. Leonardo is definitely main character energy.
100%.
Yeah.
And he's like the leader. Like I feel like he's aspirational, right? He's the Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Cody, thoughts, opinions?
I got a boring answer, but I don't have one.
April
I was
O'Neil.
only if she's a turtle.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure there's a comic book issue or an episode of the TV show where that happened at some point.
I have some fan art to point towards you.
Oh, good. Yeah, I never. It's just that is a medium or an IP in which I never had much association with.
I think
but
that's fair.
To give an answer, I would say the purple one, whoever that is.
Donatello, interesting.
Donatello's cool.
Yeah, I like
The
her
staff.
Hufflepuff
Yeah.
of Ninja Turtles.
Fucking got him.
That's actually not true. Like, Donatello's like the smart one. He'd be the Ravenclaw, which ironically is
That's
my
true.
Yeah,
Hogwarts house.
Yeah, same.
But my like actual real life cheesy response is that as a kid, it was 100% Leonardo because he was the leader. The double katana thing is cool.
Yeah.
Blue was my favorite color at the time, but it was mostly like he was a leader. He was the leader, and that's, of course, he's going to be my favorite character. And then I really wanted to be Michelangelo because I wanted to be the class clown.
Sure.
But he was like never my vibe. But now as an adult, retroactively and forever, it's 100% Raphael. Because he's the angsty, dark, brooding one.
Right.
I just find him to be the most actually interesting of the four turtles. Like
Yeah.
from a legit character perspective.
Here's my question in return to that is, what is the media that you have based these opinions on?
So this
what is your primary consumption of TMNT media?
That was going to be my question
All
to
of
you,
it.
Cody.
All
Is
of
like
it?
where,
Okay.
because you didn't do much arcade gaming when you were a kid, right, Cody? You didn't do much of that.
The only one of those I have the most familiarity with would be the Simpsons one. But
Right.
No, I certainly never played the TMNT one. I've never seen the live action movies.
Okay.
Honestly, as sad as it is, I think I've maybe seen a few episodes of the animated series just offhandedly, but I think the most TMNT content that I can remember is the terrible Michael Bay one. I feel like I've seen that one all the way through.
Fuck.
But that's
Wasn't that
Yeah, no wonder you don't like
was
it.
that what's her face? Fox? What's her
Megan
name?
Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan, was that
yeah.
her? Did she play April in that?
That sounds right.
I think so.
Or is that just conflating with Transformers?
Right.
But also, this is the kind of world where those would exist simultaneously.
Yes, it was Megan Fox.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes
I get it.
a lot
I
of
get
sense.
that casting. 100%. 100% get it.
From Michael Bay, I get it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
No, but I grew up playing the arcade game,
Right.
playing the whatever SNES version of Turtles in Time. I honestly didn't watch the
Champion
animated
Fighters or whatever on
Tournament of
Genesis.
Champions, the Sega Genesis. That game was garbage, but we bought it because we thought it was going to be like the arcade game. We thought it was just a Ninja Turtles game, not knowing, and it's some terrible like arena 1v1 fighting game.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch the animated show a ton. I was a huge fan and still am of the movies, the films.
Yes.
Less so the third one. Although I introduced my wife to the first TMNT movie, the 1990 one, just a few months ago. And she had never seen it. And she fucking loved it, which made me very happy. Because it's so campy and fun. So we need to watch Secret of the Use because that's my favorite of the three.
That is also my favorite, yes.
But it was also just like...
so good.
We had a bunch of different versions of the action figures too at home.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it's like head canon, right? Like you associate through all these different things and playing with those characters. I definitely, and I'm sure it's also older brother syndrome. Like I always wanted to be Leonardo, in part maybe because Kyle also wanted to be Leonardo. So I'm going to be Leonardo.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Like when I was a kid, I was probably more of Michelangelo when I was a kid because the size were really cool. I liked the size.
That's Raphael. Raphael had the size.
Shit,
Michelangelo was
you're right.
nunchucks.
He's nunchucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raphael is the size. So I must have liked Raphael then.
Which
He's pretty
tracks
cool.
with the red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've grown up, is what I'm saying. But as part of my growing up, I traded in all my Pop figures last year. And got $600 in store credit at a local comic shop, and used.
Turns out those are valuable, huh?
Yeah, and used a chunk.
Well, when
of,
you have, it was
like,
$600,
rare
but
ones.
they had 900 figures. So it was actually,
kind of. But they had the full run in collected volumes of the Ninja Turtle comics, which I'd never read, all the way up through the Ronin stuff. Sorry, I'm looking at my shelf to remember the name of it. And so I got the entire run of TMNT comics up through Ronin using a chunk of that $600 credit. And I've been slowly reading them. I've read the first 3 volumes. I think there are 6 of them and then 2 Ronin ones.
Is that old? Like, does that predate like the
super
movie?
old? Yes, super
Like,
super old.
Is that like the first appearance?
I don't know.
Like, did they start as a comic? I wonder.
That's a reasonable question that I don't have an answer to.
I just wondered.
But I know they
'Cause,
had
the comics
some
would have been the
crossover stuff.
80s.
They had some crossover stuff with Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah.
There's also a good crossover with Batman. But that's more recent. That was
Right.
like 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, created by comic book artist
Okay.
Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. Yep.
Cool. And, like the first several issues are really weird. Like it's a lot of one-off stuff, like small mini arcs. And then they start to do in the 3rd volume I just read, they were starting to do some longer arcs, like multi-issue arcs. But it's a lot of weird, like really dark, racist stuff going on in there. There's like a lot of stereotyping that happens in those early issues that is super uncool. But the art is really, really cool.
Yeah.
In those early issues. So anyways, video games?
Yeah, video
Yeah,
games.
video games. Yeah, let's do it. We have a lot of shit to chat about. We're going to start going through our playlist, including our game select game from last month, which unfortunately for me and everyone was Destiny 2: The Edge of Fate, the new expansion. We're also going to catch up with some Death Stranding 2, which we talked a good amount on the last pod, but Cody had played a bunch more. some DK Bananza for our filthy Switch 2 owners.
Dirty, nasty,
that make up
filthy.
the other 2/3 of this podcast. Some other new like indie releases: Fretless, Wrath of Riffson, Wheel World, Fantasy Life I, some good old stuff as well. And then we're going to jump into critical hits, talk a little bit about the new Game Informer mag that Kyle and I are subscribed to.
Yeah.
And then also Kyle talked about Fearzine last episode, and he got his first issue of that this month. So chat about that a little bit. We are going to talk about Glen Schofield, formerly of Sledgehammer Games, then of, I don't remember the studio name, at Crafton, who made
Callisto
the
Protocol.
Dead Space knockoff. Thank you, Callisto Protocol. So he's had a bit of a rough run.
Yeah.
And so Cody's bringing a little story about him and his future in, or lack thereof, in the games industry. And then I want to do a little bit of like rumor mill, a little bit of Sony strategy conversation. There's a rumor about them bringing games to Xbox beyond just some publishing stuff, like actually bringing some of their own games onto the platform. So we'll talk a little about what that might mean. And then we'll do a Fantasy Critic update. Got some emails to chat through, and then August game releases, and then we will wrap this baby up by revealing our game select in August for those that want to play along, and write us an email to partyselectpod@gmail.com telling us what they think about the game. Would love that. Would also love if you want to drop a comment below with your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle character, especially if you've been playing Destiny 2. No one's been playing Destiny 2. If you're one of the 2,000 people still playing that game, would love you to drop some comments below. But let's start there. Let's talk about Edge of Fate. We played some Edge of Fate. I think it was the day it came out, right? The first day, or maybe the day after?
Yeah, it was the first day.
Talk me through where you guys were coming to Edge of Fate. Oh, boy. How were you guys coming to, like, how are you edging? Where were you coming to Edge? What previous Destiny stuff had you guys played recently before Edge of Fate?
This is the part where Kyle fumbles through all the different games of Destiny.
So you don't need to say everything you played. I just mean, like, what was your last Destiny exposure and when?
This is like really stiff. Trying to remember this, really rock hard.
Don't.
I'm just really pissing.
You have
all over
overplayed
this.
your hand.
What was Cody? I don't remember the names of these expansions.
The Final Shape was the last one.
Yes, right. Final Shape was the last one. Cody and I played that, a good chunk of it.
I really
when it came out,
good.
Right? You played it like right when it came out.
Yeah. The story stuff in that I thought was solid.
Yeah, it felt like they were doing a nice job of wrapping up some of the loose threads. Not that I really knew what a lot of those loose threads were going into it, but they reminded me of what they were, and then they kind of wrapped them up a little bit, which was great.
Yeah.
A lot of the gun stuff, the new ability thing was like a little bit of a gimmick. It was sort of like, I guess they're always
combining
a gimmick,
all the different ones, right?
Yeah. It was sort of like
this won't surprise you at all, but like you have to like mix and match. You can mix and match. Essentially, you can have like the fire grenade and the void melee or whatever, and you can like sort of charge those up, and then you get like a totally different type of super with that and everything that you have to use that a couple times during that campaign to progress.
Not a couple.
This won't be a surprise.
It's every mission.
This won't be a surprise to you, but Kyle refused to engage with that. So anytime that happened, I would take the reign. I liked the system, but it wasn't for what it's worth.
It wasn't pew-pewing things, which is what I come to Destiny for.
I think that's a cool idea that you definitely do at the end of your progression in like a game, right? You have all these different classes, all these different moves, all these different abilities. And so as the final thing, I'll just play with what you want. Like that makes sense to do that, regardless of how it was implemented.
Right.
Yeah, but had you guys played all of the expansions prior to that?
Yeah, right.
So no Cody, Kyle yet.
Because then the one before that, we
with
played
the green,
Lightfall.
the strand power,
and with the hoverboards, we played Lightfall.
Right.
So I think we played
which was
all
the
of them.
previous one, or at least the majority. Because I was hardcore into Destiny 2. I hung on to it way longer after Kyle had dropped off, but it was Forsaken that Kyle and I, like Kyle, you jumped back in. We played through the story, and then I bailed after that, and I have not touched it since then.
So yeah, it was Destiny 2, or year 2 was Forsaken.
Right.
Year 3 was Shadowkeep, then Beyond Light, The Witch Queen, Lightfall, and Final Shape. So yeah, I guess I have.
Cody, when you and I went back to when you and I did Lightfall, we had skipped a couple expansions, so we went back and played through them.
Yeah.
So we didn't play them on release, but we went through the campaigns for those.
Yeah. They did a cool thing where for like, it was like a week prior, they made all of the other expansions free. And I think like a couple of days after Edge of Fate launched, all of the previous expansions were free. And I, because I'm a completionist, was like, ooh, I want to play some of the old ones before Edge of Fate comes out, without actually thinking about the time commitment of that and frankly the fun factor of like playing old Destiny content alone, not knowing what's happening in the story. But I did play Beyond Light, the one where you get the stasis, the blue icy campaign.
Yeah.
And then I started Lightfall because I was just like, I know people didn't like Lightfall, but I like the cyberpunk aesthetic and it has another new power. So let me do that one. And then I'll do the Final Shape. And I made it like halfway through Lightfall and it was horrendously bad. And then that was it. And I didn't play anymore. I was stupid. I should have just played Final Shape. I should have just played Final Shape.
Lightfall was when they were having the voice actors strike, right? So they there was some weirdness there. I think Lightfall was the first one that suffered from that. I feel like there was something about that in Lightfall. Maybe it was the one after it.
Well, Lightfall was the one right before Final Shape.
Okay, then yes.
Because it was sort of a prelude to that.
I think that was happening then.
But yeah, all of that to say...
I remember it falling, like, it from a quality standpoint, I remember, like, a lot of the voice stuff, like, just yapping at you, just being like, oh my god, none of this is very good.
The two new characters in Lightfall are, like, literally some of the dumbest characters designs I've ever seen in a video game.
They're crazy stupid.
Like, they look like something that, like... an 8-year-old would draw in the 80s as being like a hardcore death metal guy. It's super cringe.
Yeah.
But all that to say, I guess as like a background for, we're all the most casual Destiny people that you could be. Like none of us have been engaging with the end game content in Destiny for multiple years. It's been, even for you guys, it's been a play the story mode and bounce.
Yeah.
So going into Edge of Fate, our intent was to play the story mode and bounce. And we played the story mode for about 2 hours, maybe a little bit more.
And then bounced. So we did what we set out to do.
And didn't come back to it because...
it's bad.
I don't know. I wasn't having fun.
Not only did we not come back to it, I think one of you two asked, do we want to go back? It's just kind of like, no, not really.
I think one of us said we should, though. We should go back, play a little bit more to see, and we still didn't.
The gimmick this time around is Metroid Prime turn into a ball and roll around in third person.
And that shit sucks, dude.
Oh, yeah, also the portal guns, right.
Which add nothing.
Also sucks.
Yeah, also sucks, because the portals are only open for a certain amount of time, and sometimes you get separated from your group, and then you open it, and then the timing doesn't work out, and then you have to like wait for a thing to respawn, go grab a thing to then open the portal gun thing again, and then go back. It's bad. It's a bad time.
The environment design is super uninspired.
Yeah, it's
so cramped.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Everything is like a tight hallway, and so you just get lost constantly.
Yeah.
And the nav point is not helpful because it doesn't have elevation included, so you don't know, like, it's just like you need to go right. Okay, but first you actually need to go down to the left and around before you can go right, but it's not telling me that.
Yeah.
And also the new character, dude, like the new world guy with the glasses.
He gives me nothing.
Like there's some kind of time travel-y thing that's happening there, some sort of like multiversal thing going on.
Like, did they use AI to voice this guy? Like, he has no emotion.
To touch on that too, like this is supposed to be the beginning of a new arc story, and nothing that we experienced in that beginning. Remember that we played the beginning to a little over 2 hours of this. Nothing felt like it was setting up It felt like it was really just a continuation of what's been going on.
There were like some really
this
weird
is a good
little
place to start.
There were some weird little disparate thread things they're starting, like that chick who was like a god who's no longer a god or whatever. The blue chick. Remember her? Like it starts with a cutscene of her on a planet, like by herself, and she's like, "I'm a fucking god," and then oh no, never mind, I'm not, and she like busts out of her god form in a really stupid way.
Because I didn't get that cutscene. That's why I'm confused.
That's right.
I didn't. That didn't happen.
It just
for
didn't
me.
play.
I was just floating in space, waiting for you guys to join the party. Apparently,
right.
I didn't get to see that.
Yeah. Well, you didn't miss a whole lot. Because she came up again in those 2 hours, but I still don't know shit about her or like why it matters. And that's 2 hours.
And also just like from an enemy perspective, so like I feel like every planet has 2 enemy types, and there's like a primary story enemy and then a secondary enemy. The secondary enemy is the Vex, the like future robot guys. I at least when what we played, I didn't notice any new types
like
of
archetypes.
Vex. It was just the same type of Vex as you've been fighting for a decade. And then the new Fallen, which is the primary enemy, there's like a jetpack guy.
Yep.
And the little guys that normally bum rush you have a shield. And that's it.
Yep.
That's all I noticed that was different.
And then you turn into a ball.
And so
And
the camera doesn't work.
The camera does not like the ball segments.
For a long time, Destiny has sort of ridden on the coattails of its gameplay, I feel like.
For sure.
At least for casual people.
The shooting, yeah.
Yes, and it still feels great, but this is the first time where the gimmick of the thing has like really tarnished the gameplay. Like it feels bad.
Because you have to do it a
bullshit.
lot. At least early on, you're having to do it a lot.
And you know that's going to be in the dungeons. You know that's going to be in the strikes. You know that's going to be in the raid.
Yep.
And even in exploration. Like, you guys dropped, and I think we were still on the voice call, but you guys had quit the game, and we were just, like, chit-chatting, and I'm just, like, wandering around, disassociating as we're talking. And even just to, like, find hidden chests and stuff, just in the open world, you need to do the ball shit.
Great.
So it's not just story and missions. It's also it's ingrained in the regular exploration of the world. It's not good.
No.
And no one likes it.
You can't use your sparrow at all. We didn't get to...
Right, at least not... We maybe there's an open area later.
Yeah, so, but the whole 2 hours we spent was a bunch of, like, small, slightly open areas and then super tight, cramped corridors that are really hard to know which direction you're going in or where you're facing or where you... like, how they hook up or whatever. And so there's no sparrow travel at all in those first couple hours. Which definitely killed some of the moment, because like riding the sparrow is one of the fun things you get to do in Destiny.
Plus that fucking map, I don't know that I'd even want to ride the sparrow.
No, absolutely.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe there's a bigger open area later that we just hadn't gotten to yet. That's possible.
Yeah.
I haven't been reading the Destiny forums to learn more about what happens in this expansion. I think because like, yes, we didn't have fun. The new gameplay stuff sucks. But I also think it's interesting to talk about, like, what does this mean for Destiny 2? Because this is the first thing they've launched after finishing their big story.
Yeah, this is kind
of the first thing they've launched since like half of the team got laid off over the last 18 months.
Right. And
they've already announced their next expansion because they're doing 2 big expansions a year now.
Yeah. And I like, even outside us, people who really like Destiny, I don't think this expansion has gone over very well with them either.
No, the reaction has been poor. So, people hate the new progression, which we didn't really experience a ton of, like the end game progression. And also, like, this expansion peak player count was like a third of what they typically have gotten for the previous ones. Like, I think Final Shape, it was like over 300K people that logged back in a day to play it. And with this, I think it's been just over 100,000 people. And now it's like, I think it's like down to a couple thousand a day playing this on Steam.
I do wonder if the whole marathon thing has had some sort of a negative effect on the Destiny branch as well. Just because, like, not only has it siphoned resources away, obviously, but like people have been laid off, but like the bad press about all the AI art or the stolen art asset stuff, that was happening with Marathon, just general bad Bungie press, kind of like a low hum of it consistently for like a year. I wonder if honestly, that affects it at all.
It's hard for me to imagine that because a majority of gamers have not cared about Destiny for a very long time. Even the people that would come in and out for expansions, like those are regular Destiny consumers. And I don't know that like Marathon stuff affects it in that way. I think it's more the final shape was the ending of this big story. And for a lot of people, even people that play Destiny every day still, they haven't been having fun for a long time. The aura around Destiny has been overwhelmingly negative for like over a year.
Yeah.
But it's part of a routine for a lot of these people.
Right.
And the final shape was there. Like I was listening to Skill Up talk about this.
It's
and that
their
was
off-ramp.
He played it regularly. It was his off-ramp. He was excited for final shape. He loved it. But he's like, this is my time to let you go.
That's what it
combined
should have
with
been.
Yeah, that is what it should have been.
Yeah, and then we should be waiting,
for
they should be in
3.
maintenance mode, waiting for 2 years to launch Destiny 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what significance does this sort of end of an arc have? It's the same thing with like the MCU. What significance does Endgame have if you start the next thing 6 months later?
Right.
Like
even if it is totally new, it's still like you go on that emotional high, and it's just kind of flat after that.
Yep.
And then like you're kind of not interested in the new thing because you feel like you got some closure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Compounded with, it's just not good. Like the new stuff that they've added has been received poorly. And so obviously that's anyone that was on the fence or thinking like, I'm kind of done, but if people like it, I'll come back. Mm-hmm. People haven't liked it, so I'm not going to come back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now it just begs the question, like, what? If it's going to be like 6 months until the next expansion, and we expect something of this scope, which is like no new power, just a new, the baseline of content, story missions, a couple strikes, a raid, which people did enjoy the raid, presumably, or I have read people like the raid in this expansion.
That's good, at least.
But it's like, it's so frustrating.
It's bleak.
Because I tell you what, dude, I feel like a Destiny 3 would pull in a ton of people.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's almost like I don't know if it's Sony.
You could do a lot of things to like shake up the structure of it that are the cause of a lot of the moment-to-moment problems with experiencing Destiny, because it's built on the bones of something deeply flawed. So launching,
and also a decade old.
Yeah, launching a new thing, like you have the chance to fix all that stuff. I don't make no video games, but I would imagine that is a chance for a fresh slate from that perspective and how things are structured.
And a truly fresh slate, right?
Yes.
Like they can say that Edge of Fate is the start of a new thing, but it's not like they're totally starting from scratch. All of those core gameplay systems are still there,
and they're having
they can
to build
tweak on top of it.
And it's just like it's going to get it's just too much.
That's what I thought this was going to be. I thought it was going to be like
a reset.
They reset your light level, but like I still have my guns and stuff, and I guess it's like
and all the same powers and
and I guess you have to allow that because people done spent money on them guns, hon.
Yeah.
But some of the, even the powers from Final Shape, which is the last one to come out, I didn't even remember how to use that stuff. Like I had no memory because I'm not someone who plays that game every day. I'm an expansion to expansion player. I don't remember how to do that shit.
Right.
Like I really do wish it was just a clean slate. Something happens to where you're fully wiped out. Honestly, I would have been happy if they like offered a new set of 3 characters that you make, and you start a character from scratch with this. And like these are your first saga characters.
There are fully new archetypes for fully new classes, 3 totally new classes with all.
But I guess that's
stuff.
Destiny 3.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that this game has been out for so long, and you can still only have 3 characters, and there's still only those 3 main archetypes.
That is wild.
Like that's insane.
That is wild.
That's insane.
Yeah, I wonder if there is a push and pull between we want to do something new to bring in new players with a business reality that like the investment that would require with the risk of that just isn't worth it. And it's smarter to hang on to our very small but very dedicated audience
and just milk
try
them
to keep
for
those
everything
people happy.
you can. Yeah.
And it feels like they've been doing that for years. I mean, doesn't feel that way. They have been doing that for years at this point.
Yeah.
It's Destiny 2 has been on borderline life support for like 2 years.
Yeah.
It's crystal clear they don't care about new players. I mean, that's
certainly
and
not.
Plus, they have a reputation that it's notoriously cumbersome to be a new player playing that game.
The new light, like they launched a free-to-play mode and it's complete dog shit. They like vault old content that you just can't play at all at certain points, like old raids and stuff. And they've gotten better at that over time. But what I see is that people still hate a lot of that stuff. And certainly as a returning player, the tutorialization is when it's there, it is highly confusing.
Yeah.
And it usually isn't there at all. Like I would log into the game and it would start a cutscene for something I have no idea about.
Right.
And then load me into a mission that I have no idea about. And I'm like, I'm halfway through this other story quest.
It's crazy.
Why are you like putting me into a new thing here?
It's completely
So then I have to go back to
insane.
my ship and then transport to the new planet.
And like
it's
try to find your quest
crazy.
amongst all the other quest threads because
So
that
bad.
menu's terrible.
because everything just builds on itself. And then there's shit in there from like 3 expansions ago. But again, you have no idea to know that it's old.
Right.
It is terrible. It's a terrible, terrible experience. And I have to imagine Sony's really regretting their investment in Bungie right now.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's the Activision shit on a much smaller scale, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're not investing more dollars into this studio. Their idea on getting a better profit margin is continue to lay people off until the line is green instead of red.
Yeah,
like that's
but
what Microsoft
it'll never
is doing.
be green again.
No,
like it'll be
never
green when you
and
sell
neither
it.
will Microsoft's.
Right.
Like
When they
they
liquidate
will
it.
never make back their return on investment from spending almost $70 billion on a games publisher. They're just going to have to keep laying people off forever.
Yep.
And that's exactly what is happening with Bungie until they're like fully absorbed.
Can we go
dude,
back
it's scary,
to talking
man.
about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Maybe
It
we
does
don't
suck,
talk about
'cause,
video
like-
games on this one.
Like, despite Destiny's flaws, Bungie is a studio I root for, and Destiny is an IP that I root for. I would love to love Destiny.
Yeah.
The excitement I had going into Destiny 1 and like playing the beta was fucking incredible. I was
Loot
feeling
Cave?
nostalgic.
Man.
Dude,
The early
yeah.
days, Loot Cave, magical.
The Taken
was-
King was a
Taken King,
Amazing
incredible.
expansion.
experience. Yes.
What, like, the ship was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was feeling very nostalgic, and I was going back and reading like really old blog posts on my website, shakes730.com, and I had an old like something about playing the original Destiny demo. Well, I don't even know what fucking year that would have been, but I was just talking about like the fun of logging in and playing, and like some random dude that clearly doesn't play a lot of video games hopping on, and like proximity chat popping up, and him just being like, "Oh fuck, like this is so cool," and just that like fun new video game, brand new type of video game for a lot of people, that like mixed MMO sort of vibe that a lot of people were not used to at the time. That part was so cool. And then the game came out and you're like, oh, this is it? Like, this is all that's here? And then they did a better job with Destiny 2, better story and all that good stuff, but it still at the end of the day became a like MMO light where it was kind of trying to live in two worlds and therefore in neither world. It's a bummer. What a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to restart my camera.
Oh, fun.
But yeah, I agree. It you know, part of it's like, oh, okay, old man, stop pining for the years past and like try to find the good in what you have now. But it's just like there's less and less of that good that is available in this game over time. And it, you know, it fuck, we need a Division 3 and we need a Destiny 3. Those are the things that the world could use right now. By the world, I mean me.
I agree. Division 3 is possible.
It is
I
possible.
feel like that game is still doing pretty well, though.
Division 2 is still doing all right.
Destiny
somehow.
3, I just think Destiny 3 is never going to happen.
Yeah.
They're just.
I just think they're going to continue to shrink that team, and yeah. Yep, it'll go into maintenance mode, and then they'll shut the whole fucking thing down, and then in a decade, people are like, oh shit, Destiny, crazy.
Here's the Destiny reboot.
Oh god. Destiny HD remaster.
All the vaulted content now available. For Destiny 2.
600 gigs.
Destiny 2, the Vault Edition. Oh, that would be so gross. That'd be so gross.
Yeah.
Because that's not as funny as the horse armor thing. And, like, you can't do the horse armor joke with the vault content. It's too not funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, all right. That's Destiny 2 Edge of Fate. I think we probably will not be playing the next expansion. If I had to venture a guess.
We will. We will.
Not for Game Select. I'm not paying $40 fucking dollars for that.
Cody and I will end up
Get out of
that.
here.
Yeah.
I regret so much spending $40 on this expansion.
Yeah. Well, what's going to happen?
2.5 hours of not fun.
Yeah. What's going to happen is they're going to announce a new expansion, and Cody and I are going to like, we should probably finish the Edge of Fate stuff. So let's just go ahead and slog through it and do that. And that's, yeah.
I'm telling you,
time is a flat circle. We have done this so many times. It is impossible to break out of the cycle.
Have some kids.
No.
That'll make you actually care about your own time.
No.
Because that's your problem. You have too much free time, and so you don't care about it. If you are playing, if you come back and play more Destiny 2, you do not care about your free time.
It's a thing to
You are not.
It's an
just
excuse
have so
to hang
much
out.
of it.
That's exactly what I am saying.
It's an
You're
excuse
not
to hang out.
appreciating and maximizing. There's such better things you can do to hang out.
We hang out a lot. So sometimes sometimes you're gonna get some stinkers in there just to fill time.
Fair enough.
We have all this free time to hang
out. Let's move on. Like I mentioned, we talked a lot about Death Stranding 2 last episode, but Cody, I assume you finished it.
Oh, I have.
So what you got, man? Do you hate it now when you played the second half?
No, it's real damn good.
Yeah.
It's real damn good. Though I will say you will not like it. Like when I get down to the story
You tried hard to pitch me last time.
So no, I do think you like, for what it's worth, I do think you'd like the gameplay, but boy, the story.
It gets real stupid.
Yeah.
In my favorite ways. In my favorite Kojima stupid ways.
Mm-hmm. Is this a space for spoilers? Can we get into it?
I think we can give spoilers. I think we probably would want to avoid like end game spoilers.
I want to say something that out of context isn't bad.
We've got timestamps on here. I think spoilers are all right.
There is an option. I will still try to be vaguely vague here, but I am going to talk about something slightly at the end of the game. You, as Sam Porter Bridges, Norman Reedus, are shirtless, and you are.
Is that the spoiler?
You are with Troy Baker's character. What's his name?
Who is Higgs, who is also shirtless.
And as you probably saw in the trailer, Higgs has like an electric guitar that shoots electricity, and it's real fucking stupid.
Yep.
Eventually he gets a two double-bladed or double-fretted guitar.
He gets the Claudio Sanchez double neck guitar
that can split in half, and then Sam has the other one, and you have a guitar battle against him.
Yes.
And he's shredding, and he's doing a electric guitar solo, shooting electricity at Sam. And then a button prompt comes up on the screen.
It sure does.
It says, press square to shred right back.
Shred right back.
And you hit it, and Sam starts shredding.
So Norman Reedus is in a guitar off, a shred off, with Troy Baker.
A shirtless shred off.
On top of a giant tar creature.
In the middle of the most climactic fight of the game. In what is a fight that is a brazen homage to the end of Metal Gear Solid 4, which is like one of my favorite ending boss fights ever because of all like the emotional momentum that built up to it and how like kind of silly and gamified it is and like self-aware it is. This is like just a straight up callback to that then halfway through it becomes a fucking quick time event shred off with your shirts off.
Fucking yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And
it's good.
Troy Baker,
it's real good.
Troy Baker is chewing the fucking scenery at the end of that game.
Is. I mean, you kind of have to if you're going to be in a Kojima game.
Yeah.
He is so fucking
like that's
good.
why you take that gig.
He's really compelling.
Yes. Yep.
All the way through.
So I ended up beating it after like
so good.
It's so good. It's so good. I ended up beating it after like 70 hours. I'm at like 120 hours now. I'm trying to do everything. And I pick it up here and there and try to like 5-star max out all the delivery locations. I think it ends really well. I think it sort of sets up for maybe another one. I can't imagine though. He's so fucking busy. Like we wouldn't see that for like another 10 years at this point.
Yeah.
It feels like
it's certainly not what he wants to do next.
For sure.
Because he's got Siggins and what is it? The drug related name horror game? OD.
Yep. OD.
Mm-hmm. So it's really good. It solidified its spot on my. I think I had it at number 25 of the top 25 of the last 25.
Right.
So
yeah,
that game's real special, real damn good.
Yeah,
real good.
I do have good news for you, Cody. Because I'm not playing Death Stranding 2. I'm not a moron.
Okay,
you were never going to trick me into that. My wife is taking the kids to my in-laws on Sunday, so I'm going to have like my dad day because I didn't get one for Father's Day because we were traveling. And I believe on Sunday I'm going to pick back up Clair Obscur.
Nice.
And play some Clair Obscur and give that another shot. So there's a chance that I might like one of the games that you liked this year.
Perfect. Can't wait. What I really can't wait for is to check Discord on Sunday and see that you're playing Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age.
No, I put that away just because that's exactly it.
Get after him, bro. Go get him.
I've got too many fucking things that I'm trying to play, and I know I keep saying that I'm going to go back to KCD2, and I did like once for like an hour. I played like one more hour in the last month of that game, but I totally just put away Final Fantasy 12 because I was at a good stopping point where now it's like the next big cliff of like going into the third act, and so that's the spot where you like go and do all the side missions and hunts and extra things, and I was like, maybe I should go do a bunch of those, and then I was like, no dude, you're just killing time. You like this game, but you're just killing time in a video game. Play something else. So I put the guide away. I took the disc out. Ooh, so I'm playing other
big
stuff.
Move. Wow.
Yeah. Well, cool. I'm glad that it wrapped up well. Obviously, it would have sucked to not enjoy how it ended, but it extra would have sucked because there were some really good games that didn't make your top 25 because of Death Stranding 2, and that would have been a bummer
for sure.
to like regret that.
No doubt.
All right, moving on to another game that seems like I feel like this year has been the game of the year contender after game of the year contender, and everybody's like, DK Bananza, this is the hotness. This actually legit is one of the best games of the year. You guys have both played it. Is that how you feel about it? Is this like a 10 out of 10 all-timer?
Kyle, do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I don't like it. In a surprise to no one. I don't care for it. I think it's a playground. I think it succeeds at that, and there's certainly a lot of charming. I played probably 2.5 hours. It's very charming. The Pauline stuff is fun. I like the Donkey Kong design. I like the designs of the world. I do think it just kind of looks like more Super Mario Odyssey. Like everything just has that Nintendo Switch game shine on it. Like how early PS3 games all were like grungy and shiny. This is just like high fidelity shiny stuff. Yeah. And I don't necessarily love that aesthetic, but I do think a lot of the designs and stuff are very creative and fun, and that stuff's cool. I think the destruction is a bit of a chore, and it creates situations where the platforming's not fun. And I kind of just want to like platform through the levels and like just mainline it. but then I'm like, but I'm not getting all the extra stuff, and it's like littered with all these extra bananas you go dig for. You like sonar claps to find them or whatever. And the loop didn't get me, because I was like, I enjoyed the digging for a half hour, and then it was like, oh, there's a lot of this, isn't there? I'm kind of over it already. And then the actual platforming was fine. I don't know. It just didn't do kind of anything for me. I didn't really expect it to, but yeah.
That is a bummer, because I know you haven't been a fan of the like 3D Mario stuff of recent memory, so that this was going to be a different sort of thing. Maybe there was some hope that it would hit you in a way that the Mario stuff didn't.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely, what I've seen of it, it looks like you could swap Donkey Kong for Mario with a drill and swap the aesthetic to Mario, and it would pass as a Mario game.
Yeah. I do think I was listening to Giant Bomb, and I forget who said it, but someone said something to the effect of like, Nintendo makes games for people who find the fun in the mechanics. And I do that in other genres, like survival crafting games. Like, that's all about the mechanics and the freedom and stuff. I just don't click with Nintendo stuff. I find it's hard for me to find the joy in their stuff for some reason.
I would add to that comment and say that it's not just purely about the mechanics, it's about the feel of the mechanics.
Yeah.
Because you're definitely a mechanics person. You like the literal mechanics. And I don't view that as being what it's about in like a Mario platformer. It's not the pure jumping. It's the feel of how the jumping works, the different jumps, and sort of like exploring the world by doing a back jump or a double jump, or like that's what it's more about.
Yeah, I assume that's included in that statement.
But I'm saying that's what the difference is for you. Like these other genres of mechanics that you like the literal mechanics and the freedom that the mechanics allow. And I think with Nintendo stuff, it's often more about how those mechanics actually feel as you're exploring, which I think is very different.
That could be true. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's not a bad
like,
thing. I just mean...
Yeah, I guess because I don't find the Nintendo mechanics to be all that interesting. And so I don't derive a lot of enjoyment from those, even if they do feel good. Yeah. So maybe you're right then.
Where are you at on it, Cody?
I'm on like I'm not very far. So I'm not signing it off yet, but I'm also not on the best game of the year. It's very fun. I'm enjoying it. I fucking love Odyssey. So
yeah, same.
I'm getting a lot out of this so far. My only thing is, for whatever reason, same thing with the Switch One. I very rarely think to play it on my TV. I almost never, in fact. I prefer to just have it by me and pick up and just play.
Yeah.
Usually in bed. I cannot play this thing without a grip. I need a grip on it so freaking badly. It is so ungodly uncomfortable to hold for a long period of time. So that I would have played more leading up to this. But no, I'm very much enjoying it. I'm having to stop myself because I am a freak who likes to do as much as I can as I progress through.
Right.
So like the first level,
there's a lot to do.
I destroyed every piece of terrain in that first level.
I did the same thing. I burned myself out on that mechanic in the first level.
Oh, I loved it. And I was like, man, I cannot do this for every level.
Right.
So I've like given up on that. Like I'll still go if there's like an obvious wall that's like, oh, well, there's clearly something behind there. I'll go break that. But like I am mostly just like have been mainlining it. I think it feels great. I think it's fun. I think it's colorful. It does the same sort of Odyssey thing where there's like multiple this game is just Odyssey. I mean, truly, it really is. There's multiple currencies, and you use those currencies to buy outfits.
Right.
Though this
Buy
time,
bananas.
yes, this time there are slight RPG elements in that the main bananas you get unlock. There's a skill tree, which is neat, and also the outfits that or like the accessories you buy, the outfits you buy have different perks. So like maybe your clap sonar allows you to see further, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really like that part of Odyssey as well, the different outfits and seeing what outfits were tied to each world. I'm enjoying that a lot in this as well. There's a lot of little mini games similar to the sort of side areas in a world in Odyssey where you like a little challenge to get an extra couple moons. Like there's those in this. It has all of that DNA from Odyssey. And as someone who really loved Odyssey, this to me feels like a Donkey Kong version. Like I personally do not get you could just put Mario in here and there would be a Mario game. Like this to me feels very central to being a Donkey Kong game versus a Mario game.
What about it? Because like what you're describing is like it's Mario Odyssey, but Donkey Kong.
Yeah, going through the environments that like everything is tuned for the power of Donkey Kong. Like
yes,
right.
It doesn't feel like the kind of
you can
environments
climb on things. So like
it doesn't feel like the kind of environments
really
that
like
Mario can
I'm
jump
jumping from here to here.
Yeah,
it's I can go anywhere because if I fall, I can just climb right back up.
Yeah,
so it's tuned around that.
And like a lot of times the solution is you gotta smash this shit to get through it. And like Mario couldn't do that.
Like you say, but if Mario had a drill, but I mean, you could say that like if Mario had a suction vacuum, he could be Kirby. Like if Mario had all these specific things, he could do whatever other characters do. So I would say the
sorry, go ahead.
The analog would be just if you put Mario in this game where it's just maybe even he has Cappy and he just has Cappy's powers. Do you get the same experience as you do playing as Donkey Kong? And I don't think you do. I don't think you can give Mario something to say, it's just a Mario with a drill. I don't think that's a fair comparison to make for what this is, personally. I guess.
It's more the structure of the game is similar to Odyssey.
Totally.
Yes.
But yeah, that makes sense. Like the nature of the power of Donkey Kong and the physical breaking of exploration is very different in feel compared to like Drill Mario would be.
Totally.
That totally tracks.
I will say I really like in comparison to the normal gameplay, I really enjoyed when you got like the Super Donkey Kong mode, whatever it's called.
Bonanza,
yeah. When you go Bonanza and like you're fucking shit up. I wish it lasted a little longer, but I assume there's ways to extend that.
There's
with
upgrades.
Upgrades for it and stuff. So
I've also found, I don't know if it's an exploit because if you can do it in the game, I'm sure they knew that you could do it. So when you break things, there's a chance, when you break any of the breakable terrain, there's a chance for a chest to appear that you can open, and it gives you like a map. It shows you where either a banana is on the world map. It shows you there's a chance for it to show you where like one of the fossils, multiple of the different currencies
stuff.
There's a chance for it to show you where a collectible is, and there are upgrades that you can do to increase the chance a chest spawns when you break something, and increase the amount of time you're in Bonanza, and increase or decrease the amount of bananas you need to collect in order to be able to do Bonanza. So if you do all of those things, you go into Bonanza, you just break a bunch of shit, open a bunch of chests, and by the time you're out of Bonanza, you already have a full Bonanza gauge ready.
Right.
So you go back into Bonanza, break a bunch of... So then that was my way of figuring out where everything was on the map so I could 100% that map. And you could, like, if you just take like 30 minutes and break everything...
That's nice.
Yeah. Like that was a nice little, I don't want to say exploit, but a way in which you could get everything on the map. So
right.
I saw a couple of people talking in the Discord, like they sequence broke a lot of stuff just because like you can dig around obstacles and like go places you're not necessarily intended to go. Because at one point, I guess you can throw sand to create like land bridges and stuff. So like you can really kind of sequence break a series of events that you're supposed to go through a level and do. And like the game kind of accommodates that in some ways, and I think that's kind of neat.
That's cool.
Yeah. Like they just really were just like, hey, no rules, have fun. I think that's
and
that's
there
cool.
are I've not gotten to it yet, but I've seen there are like some similar to Odyssey, how you had the 2D like 8-bit Mario sections. There are that analog for 2D Donkey Kong stuff.
Okay.
Is there minecart stuff?
Oh yeah, and jumping in barrels. So
there is barrel stuff.
That seems like that could be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat. Well, Kyle, it sounds like you probably will not return to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking about it again. I'm like, maybe I should boot it back up. I don't know, man. It's like, it's not like I don't know. Maybe I said I don't like it at one point, but it's not like I like.
You did. That was literally the first thing you said.
It's not. I don't like it, but it's not that I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know the difference?
I do.
You hear the difference? I would play this and have a fine time. There's just other stuff that I'm interested in playing, so I play that stuff instead.
Sure. That tracks.
Yeah.
Cody, are you going to keep going with it?
Totally. I've ordered that grip Kyle was just showing off. I have no fucking delivery estimate for this thing. It just says sometime in July or August. So I'm just my poor Switch 2 has like a half an inch layer of dust just on it. The Switch 2 sitting up in my room. Like I want to play it. I cannot for the life of me.
Pro controller?
Yeah.
That's a nice way to play.
It's a fantastic controller. And I could just put it on my TV and play it. I don't know why I don't.
You can also put it in the stand mode, right? And play with the controller that way.
See, the thing is I usually play in bed. Yeah. Like when I go to bed, that's what I do before bed.
Yeah.
So like I need to get one of those like stereoscopic, is that what they're called? Like the like arms that
telescopic
maybe, that like I can turn, like clip it onto my bed, just have the screen just like held above my head so I can use the controller and just
you can redneck that shit too though.
For sure.
Just get some like duct tape and wrap it around and just hang it from the ceiling.
Yep. So I need to figure out something while I wait for this damn grip. But yeah, I'm definitely going to play it. I'm not going to say it's not a Game of the Year contender. I think it had very well, for me, has every ability to hit that. I'm just not far enough to see all
not
that
there
stuff.
Yet. Yeah, it's more like the reaction has been when Claire Obscure came out, people were like, holy shit, 10 out of 10. This is a generational game. Or no, it was KCD 2, and people said that. And then Claire Obscure, people said that. And then Death Stranding 2, people said that. And then now Donkey Kong Bonanza, people are saying that. And a lot of it's the same people saying about all these games. And it's just like, there can't be that many 10 out of 10 games in a single year. That's impossible.
Yeah, it's
we're only halfway through.
We have an embarrassment of riches of incredible video games that have released this year. And also like the most layoffs of any year. It's just like such a fucked up, shitty ass thing that we've humans
it's
done.
Exactly what 2023 was. Like 2023 was this generational year with Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, like all these bangers, Spider-Man 2 and Hi-Fi Rush. Like they fucking closed that studio. Yikes. Well, all right. How about we talk about a game that is an indie game and not impacted by all the corporate bullshit. Fretless, The Wrath of Riffson. Kyle, you've been playing this. I've been playing some of it on my Steam Deck. I'm a big fan. I needed a game to play. I was in Panama for like 4 days for work a little bit ago, so I needed something on Steam Deck that was a pick up and drop type game, and this was a really good one for that. I really like the aesthetic of it. It's got it's super pixelated but sort of smooth pixelated graphics.
Like high motion pixel art.
Yeah.
A lot of animation.
I really like the just like the vibe of it because it's very music oriented, and the story is it's this kid who's like auditioning for a battle of the bands through some corporate overlord, and there's clearly something going on, and they're trying to manipulate X and Y and Z. And so your weapon is your guitar, and you get different guitars. You learn different riffs for each guitar, which are your different move sets. And it's sort of, it's turn based, and you get to choose from a selection of riffs each turn. So like you can pick 3, and one of them gives you a shield, and one of them damages every enemy, and one of them like damages one enemy, but it also builds up. I don't remember what it's called. The like
I don't
blue
remember either,
meter.
but yeah, let's.
It's like your Yeah, it's like your special meter that allows you to do your like super attack. But yeah, I find the gameplay loop to be very satisfying.
Yeah.
I don't love I feel like there needs to be more enemy types.
Yeah, there's a couple like balance problems as well, like some difficulty spike stuff that happens. I don't know how far you got, but
I play like for probably like 2 to 3 hours. I didn't get super deep. I'm in like the third zone, I think. Okay. It's like a dark forest area.
Sure. I got all of the weapons I think I'm going to or all the instruments I think I'm going to unlock.
Okay.
They all play very differently. They all have their own decks that are all balanced around different mechanics. So like the acoustic one is, like you said, it's about building. You can simultaneously attack and build shield at the same time. There's another one that's like a metal guitar that takes your life and uses it to like bolster attack and do debuffs and stuff, and then siphons health from the enemies. So it's a little bit more of like a risk reward build.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a keytar that like a synth that is a lot about buffs and debuffs and increasing and scaling your damage based on number of buffs or debuffs active on certain enemies and different targets and stuff. So they all play very differently. I bumped up against a couple of enemy types later on that I didn't organically figure out how to actually beat them. I kind of brute forced it and like almost died a bunch of times. So it felt like, I guess it felt like there was an instrument I should have been using on them, but it like the solution wasn't immediately apparent because I was having so much fun with the acoustic guitar. I wasn't using the other instruments all that much.
Okay.
So I didn't really put in the time to like learn them. And so I kind of wish the game had forced that on me a little bit and tutorialized each instrument as you got it a little bit more. That would have gone a long way towards helping me, but I don't know that I'm going to go back to it necessarily. I got a chunk of the way through it. It was fun. It was really neat. But again, I know if I go back to it, I'm going to have to put in the work and learn each of the instruments. And like having all of that condensed into like my first couple hours back playing it, I'm just going to kind of have to do that and figure that out. That's keeping me from going back. So if you do want to see it through, Shay, I would recommend as you get the new instruments, spend some time learning them as you get them.
That's funny because like that's literally what I am doing. So I have the bass guitar, which is the second one that you get, and I immediately was like, I'm not vibing with this as much as the acoustic guitar because the bass guitar is more about building up your super meter, and the more super meter you have, the more damage you can do with certain attacks. But that super meter like expires after a certain number of moves, and I immediately was like, I don't like this as much. There's like more. I hate to say strategy because I don't want to sound like a dummy, but like you have to think about it in a different way. And the acoustic guitar is a little more straightforward, give and take.
Right.
But I specifically was like, I need to just stick with it for this zone and play with it the whole time. And then the next one, I'll play with that the whole time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've already definitely been having that mindset.
Okay. I like the upgrade
system. Yeah, I'm definitely going
to
continue playing it.
Like the upgrade system is a lot of fun. You get to customize like you get different pedals that have different passive buffs for different kinds of like play styles and stuff, so you can do a little bit of build crafting there with those. Then you're also customizing your instruments, and
you can level up the riffs too.
Yes,
like each
the
move
actual
you
cards.
Can level up to.
Right. Yeah.
Are the
by
instruments
getting
just guitars?
So it's an acoustic guitar, a bass guitar, a synth, and then the hard like the metal guitar. And I think it's those 4. I might be forgetting one.
But yeah, you're a guitar player.
Right, yeah.
So if they're guitars, bro.
I mean, it's fretless, like frets on a guitar. And the synth is a keytar.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah.
They're not going to like throw a trumpet in there.
I thought the writing is really fun. It's full of puns like a Paper Mario.
Yes, I really like the
feels
writing.
A little bit like a slightly more mature Paper Mario. I like the boss design stuff. Like they're all like other competitors in the Battle of the Bands thing, and they all have their own like decks that they're using in special attacks and stuff, and like they sometimes turn into monsters that you're then fighting and all that, and sometimes you are just fighting literal monsters that are all themed after a musical. Like the spider is like a series of speakers with a bunch of legs. Like that's cool.
I went in. I found that there was like a little puzzle that I did to get into this fight a spider in the second area.
Right.
And he like the first time he hit me, he did like 2/3 of my health, and I was oh, okay, this is like a mini boss that I'm supposed to come back to later. I think.
No, you. I beat him. I beat him first try because I'm a real gamer.
I got him like halfway down. Well, maybe you went there at a different time than me.
Nah, as soon as I could get there.
I just wasn't doing enough damage to him.
Yeah. You gotta because you can adjust how many of each card are in your deck for each given instrument.
Yeah.
So you can do a little bit of like, oh, I'm gonna need to make sure I have more shield every turn. So I want to pull out a couple other cards and make sure I have all my shield generating cards in there.
But how'd you know to do that if you beat him on your first try?
I'm just saying that's something you could do.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
You're a liar.
I know. I think I did that normally anyways, just because the enemies in that area started to do a lot more damage.
Yeah, and they
He's
do
a
like
gamer.
Yeah, they have a lot of like debuffs and stuff on you too.
Yeah, for sure.
And buffs on themselves.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think honestly my favorite thing about the game is that there are flowers that are bells, and when you run through them, they chime.
Yeah, every environment has a
nice.
different musical element that when you run through it makes a sound. It's really, really cool. Oh, we didn't even talk about like the actual turn-based combat. Like, there's timing to the attack, so you can do extra damage.
Yeah, sure.
Or take less damage, timing your blocks and your hits, like a Paper Mario. And that stuff, because it's all time
obscure.
Right? No, Cody, because this is a very simple version, and there's you light up green, and the entire time like everything is rhythm based.
Yeah.
So there's music in the background.
All the animations
time
are
your
timed.
Attacks.
Yeah. So it helps.
And that part I really like. I'm like tapping my foot the whole time I'm playing.
Totally.
Like that. The musician in me likes that vibe of it.
Right.
But yeah, I'm definitely going to continue playing. I was a big fan. My difficulty is playing on my Steam Deck, honestly, because when I'm alone, I want to play on my console because I'm like, I can play on Steam Deck when I'm with my kids. But then when I'm with my kids, I can't play on my Steam Deck because we're doing stuff. / if we're just watching a movie and I would play, I can't put my headphones in and I'm not going to turn the volume on. So I just never play my Steam Deck.
This is coming from the guy who just told us to have kids like 20 minutes ago. So just keep that in mind.
No, I told you to have kids so that you have less free time so that you appreciated it more.
That's crazy. I'll just look at you having kids and appreciate my free time more.
Yeah, dude, I don't actually mean that you should have kids. No one should have kids unless they want kids. I'm not an asshole.
I guess one other point on Fretless, it being an RPG, the progression, like you're not gaining levels. It's all upgrading the actual cards that are part of each deck, and then and farm, like, because you can fight enemies over and over again and like farm some credits and some materials and stuff for upgrades. And then you can, like, there are some shops scattered throughout the game where you can buy some upgrades and buy a couple, like a new pedal or a new attachment for your guitar and stuff. So
was it a pedal that gives you more HP? Because I did get a big HP upgrade at one point. Okay, I was trying to remember if it was like a potion, like a one-time use thing. But
I ended up having to sub that one out, and it made me sad. But the one I subbed it out for was super worth it. So,
are the upgrades called the chord progression?
No, but they should be.
It's pretty good though.
You should go work for them.
I'm sure there's a clever name. Everything in that game has a clever name about it, which I love. I love that shit.
But the fact that it's not marketed as a guitar PG is... Come on.
Wait, we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
Because they did use another... They did use another...
It says in a turned-based RPG, they could also be tuned-based.
Tuned-based, that's right. Yeah.
Or guitar PG.
Yeah.
But they don't use a pun in the Steam description.
But that's what I'm saying, and I mentioned this last time, that there was some pun in one aspect of their marketing. It must not have been on the actual Steam page.
Yeah, maybe it was in the trailer.
Maybe. Because Guitar PG does sound like what they
did one of those two, I thought.
No, Shay brought it up of like, because I was like, hey, it should be a tune-based RPG, and I think Shay was like,
yes. So Guitar PG, there
PG.
was something that calls it a Guitar PG, like some official piece of marketing calls it that.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Because that's too good to not.
Yes, for sure.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's Fretless, The Wrath of Riffson, which is a good time. Cody, you've been playing another indie, Wheel World. You were super excited for this. How you been liking it?
Yeah, I played a couple hours. It was like really high on my anticipated games. I really liked the demo. I like the vibe. I like it. It also, does a lot of puns. That seems to be sort of the shtick for these kind of games. I'll say I enjoy for it being a bike RPG. I like that part of it a lot. I like there's a lot of different components. You can upgrade or change out every piece of the bike, from the wheels to the body to the handles to the seat. And there's a bunch of different seats. There's a bunch of different handles. There's a bunch of different wheels. They all have stats. So depending on what you're doing, whether you're like going on rocky terrain or you're following a path, there are ideal components to put on your bike for that scenario.
Did I see in a trailer where one of the frames is like a guy?
Yes.
Like one of the bike frames you can get. It's like
I've not gotten that, but yes, it is. But I think that part of it is a lot of fun. There's a lot, like a surprising amount of exploration you can do to find bike components. There's quests, there's side quests. And I think, Shay, when we talked about the demo, I think you brought this up, but I think I was maybe a little infatuated by everything around this. All of it really kind of just boils down to racing, which that's fine. But like every quest is like, hey, there's this gang of guys, go beat them in a race. And it's just like, okay. And then the next question is like, hey, there's a big race going around over here. Like,
right.
The core thing you do to progress is race. I like everything else. I mean, the racing's fine. I still enjoy that, but everything else, like it's cool how they, I mean, literally the core mechanic is riding a bike, and you can jump on the bike and you can get boosts, but like it's cool how they made that enjoyable for like exploration and stuff. Like I've really enjoyed that part of it. There's like giant bike bell statues that are essentially, let's say, your like Far Cry towers that expand part of the map. There's only like 4 or 5 of them though, so there's not a bunch, but they're sort of your like progression benchmarks. Like you go and do this bell, you see all the things it unlocks, and you go and do those things. I really like that. I like the world. Like the world is a bike world. Everything's about bikes, and I think all that's really cool. After playing almost 3 hours and realized like I'll say I was a little bummed. Like I came out of that being like, all right, I'm doing another race.
I think it's a pretty short game. I think I heard like the area that you see on the map is the whole game. I think. I think it's pretty short. So like, if that's all you're doing,
how
that's fine.
How long to beat has 5 to 6 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. Well, that might actually be the perfect amount for this game.
Right.
Which that might actually end up being a really good thing, because everything in me, I love everything about what the game is doing. I love the world design. I love the art style. I love the writing. I think it's all really good. And I think, honestly, like controlling that bike feels really good. I mean, it feels good to drive that bike. The race stuff is, I mean, pretty easy. I was getting first place in every race. It does the Tony Hawk thing where there's like letters to collect in the race by doing like jumps and stuff for extra, just like points. You're gaining reputation is sort of the like score in the game. I think it's cool. I think I like everything up. If you're okay with it largely being race based for 5 to 6 hours with some like what I consider to be compelling and fun and engaging exploration and side content, I think it's a solid time. So
handlebar PG.
There it is.
Got it.
We get there eventually. My thing with the demo was I really liked it. All the stuff that you're talking about, I really liked. the racing part and the bike management part, I enjoyed the first ones that you did. Mm-hmm. And my thing was more like, is this it? Like, that was my concern because I didn't see how that would remain fun. Do you feel like you're at least like, are you having to change your bike setup for each race, or is it kind of a linear progression path where it's just getting better?
Yeah. Honestly, a mix of both. I do feel like the upgrades you get from the like story tend to just be better, but like the stuff off the beaten path, I really have just been using that. So like I saw a crate out in the distance. It was down a really rocky, dirty hill. And once I managed my way down there, I got wheels to ride better on rocky, dirty sections. Yep. So like then I was able to better easily work my way up. It was like mountain climbing wheels or whatever. So like I was able to more easily get back up that hill. So it feels like the stuff on the outskirts are for further exploration and not so much a necessity for the races and progression. It seems like that stuff is confined to you get it as you progress through the game naturally.
That's a little bit of a bummer. Like, it'd be cooler if off the hidden path you found those like dirt tires, but there was a race that was specific with those. So like you get to that race, you get your ass kicked, and then the guy's like, you got to go find these tires. And that was part of the, like, each race had more of a specialty. I think that'd be a lot more interesting.
I'll say outside of the tires though, like the stats are really like handling and grip. Right. So like I have found like new handlebars that like I can turn easier, but like maybe my grip to the ground is a little less. So like I might bounce a little when I'm doing, or slide when I'm doing the turning. So like I do find those kind as well, but like for things that are just like acceleration and whatnot, I'm finding that being a better increase, or I should say the ones off to the side tend to have some positive and negative, to where ones I've gotten through the main progression have been mostly just positive. This is just an increase in this stat. So yeah, I think it's good. I think it's totally good. I don't know that I'm going to go back to it. Maybe knowing that it's only a couple hours and I only have a couple hours left. Maybe I will. I would like to see that through and beat that, but yeah, it's a solid time.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle. How about Fantasy Life I feel like we've been talking about all these Game of the Year contenders, and I feel like this is a strong one for you.
This is a big one for me.
I feel like you've gone down you're in the sauce.
Yeah.
You're in the Fantasy Life sauce.
Yeah. I haven't played it in like a week though, so I'm a little worried maybe my time is done. But yeah, I picked it up on Switch 2. I know it's on Steam and stuff as well, but I picked it up on Switch 2 as an excuse to like play more on the system. It runs great on there. I put like 35 hours into it so far. It's a game about grinding stuff out. Unlike
not
Real
literally.
World. Yeah, not literally grinding on a rail. It's about grinding
mortar and pestle.
Yeah, grinding levels out in things and a lot of crafting, a lot of combat that is serviceable, a lot of cutesy charm, fun writing. It's just a game that has a lot in it. There's just a lot of stuff going on. So the structure of the game, okay, so visually it looks, let's call it Animal Crossing-esque, but there's definitely a little bit more going on. They're a little bit looser with their theming. But like small chibi looking characters, cutesy art style kind of stuff. Structurally, the game eventually becomes a little bit overwhelming. To the point where I'm at, I have an island you first get to, which is like back in time. And there are two major areas to the island. There are some sub areas like extra caves and other little places to go into and explore and get different kinds of different tiers of materials. Everything is like level gated. So everything has a level, and your different classes that you're getting, like a mining class or a woodcutting class or a combat class or whatever it is, crafting class, you're leveling those up by doing things that are associated with that class. And then leveling up increases your stats, which enables you to craft better versions of the gear for them, which also raise the stats. And then it lets you like go mine higher levels and higher tiers of materials associated with that class. And that's the treadmill, right? So you start out, you got that one island that has 2 bespoke areas. Then you unlock a second island that is very large and has its own area. And then you unlock an island that seems like it's a little more Breath of the Wild-y. Like, it has towers associated with each of these biomes. And you can scale the level in each of those biomes to whatever level you want. So like you're like, hey, I need materials that are at this level in order to grind some XP for this class, instead of like going and trying to find the one spot in the normal world that has a thing that would help you level that you'd be appropriately suited for. You can go to this other area and scale stuff to your level. So like that's
a good like quality of life thing.
Yes, it's like that's a good and like they have some story stuff that takes place there as well. Other reasons for you to go there. Some specific materials you can only find there too. So there's that. Then there's the island in the future, which you do some time traveling on the back of a skeleton dragon. It's fun and cute. Story stuff goes on. A lot of nonsense, but it's fun. The writing is like 95% actually pretty good, and I don't mind clicking through it and reading it. Future Island is literally Animal Crossing. Like, you have a giant plot of land where you are finding people who have been turned into artifacts and then asking the goddess of the island to turn them back into a person, and she does it for a currency that you can farm on that island. Every day these blue flowers pop up, and the number of blue flowers that spawn every day are tied to the quality of your island. Sort of like in Animal Crossing, how you get like a rating of your island. You get this scaling currency based on how decked out it is and how many villagers you have, and et cetera, et cetera. You're creating houses for people, decorating shit, doing quests for them, procedurally generated, kind of like basically like the Skyrim Radiant quest system for them, which increases, and this is a very Stardew Valley system, which increases your like affinity with them, like their hearts that you have with them. You can max them out, and the more hearts you have with them, they can join you and be like part of your party. So like, let's say I'm going to go mining. I'm going to go to get a bunch of I can grab my miner villager and like bring him with me. And when I'm mining stuff, he'll run up to the rock with me and start hitting on it and help me mine it. And like also provide other buffs and bonuses based on my affinity level with him. So there's a lot. It's a lot. And it's not like there's like 5 or 6 villagers or like even 1 for each class. There's multiple villagers per class. So it's like, I want a miner, but I don't really like this fucking dude. I got another miner that I do like their personality and they're fun or whatever. So you can like kind of mix and match and pick and choose. It's just it's a series of treadmills. The numbers all go up, and it's constant. And it's like every single thing you do is improving something. And I think that's the key. It doesn't ever feel like I'm just wasting time. It always feels like I'm progressing towards the next something, either story or class level or whatever, which is going to allow me to craft new things or break new things to get new materials to craft new things. Or I'm progressing the story and it's unlocking all these new quests of like these villagers who like they want this Mayan stone sofa, but I don't have a high enough carpentry level or to do that, so I need to go farm some materials to craft a bunch of carpentry stuff, or I need to go find a carpenter villager and have them help me with my crafting to boost my level up to be able to do that. So it's like, they do a good job of having all the systems feed into each other, I think, is another core important piece. So it's like this game just has the fucking sauce, man. It's got a really fun visual art style. There's a ton of exploration to go through. There's a lot of fun stuff to be had there, and it really feels like in Final Fantasy 14, your one character, and this is like, to my knowledge, in terms of MMOs, kind of unique to Final Fantasy 14, where your one character can be all classes and you can train them all separately and have like different gear loadouts for each one and have those set and adjust them individually. So when you hot swap between your classes, all your gear transitions over to that set of stuff. this has all of that stuff baked into it. Has all that quality of life and like freedom of choice. I think because it's not an MMO, in Final Fantasy 14, you can do that, but you don't have to. You could go to a marketplace and like buy a lot of the materials that you need. This game gates some of that stuff because there are NPC vendors where you can buy a lot of materials from, but it does gate stuff to your progression in the story. So there is a little bit of like, you're gonna have to. You're not going to be able to go buy the mats to do the bulk crafting of things until you've kind of gotten to the point where you can get those naturally. And so it's paced well in that respect. So the game really does want you to like go get the stuff, go do the things first, and then
you're not just buying progress.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is something you could do in like any MMO, just by virtue of them having a marketplace. So this game gates stuff in a way that I think is smart and feels like there's always something on the horizon, or something unexpected even, that ends up unlocking. But it is a lot to keep track of and a lot to keep in mind. And like on your future island, your Animal Crossing island, there are these seeds you can plant which will grow randomly generated dungeons. And like you can like attempt those dungeons and try and get through them and get extra rewards. And those are fun because every floor of the dungeon increases in difficulty, but also has one objective you're trying to do, whether it's like kill all the enemies or like mine a certain thing. And so there's like a bunch of enemies, there's a bunch of things you can cut down, fish, whatever. But it's like my objective for this floor is to go mine. So I'm going to focus on that and then keep going. And there's a time limit too. So there's like that stuff tries to keep you going through and keep you pumping. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
You're playing this on Switch?
Switch 2. Yeah, it runs really well. I haven't had any issues performance-wise.
I was bummed that it got on Switch 2 because I assumed you bought it on Steam, and I wanted to be able to play it on my Steam Deck with family sharing.
Yeah. What is the combat?
Third person action, pretty standard. I would
button
say
mashing.
Yeah, button mashy, but you do have some abilities you can pop. Stuff that charges. And like as you progress through the skill trees, various classes, you unlock new kinds of abilities. So like for my archer class, because that's the combat class that I picked, I can do poison arrows, I can do sleep arrows, paralysis arrows, and like I have a charge attack, I have a dodge roll, I have a special that builds over time, and abilities that I can pop. So, and I can cycle between all kinds of arrows. It is active,
like turn-based.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all real-time stuff. I'd say that feels pretty good. And like enemies, if they have like a large area of effect attack, like it denotes it on the ground in a big red circle kind of stuff, so you can like avoid AoE stuff that way, and it telegraphs a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's a good time. It has a really nice look, a lot of systems to dive into that all feed into each other. The balance feels pretty good. It seems like a pretty well-tuned experience. I'm generally very pleasantly surprised. I like it a lot.
Nice.
I should play more, but there's just been so many other things vying for my attention. It's like, do I really want to spend more time grinding today when I could be playing this new game? So I'm having that little bit of a struggle with it. But like 35 hours is not nothing.
Yeah.
And I would like to see it through. I'd like to complete the story. I have no concept. Like just a few hours of gameplay ago, I unlocked the final class that I had not unlocked, which is like a painter class, which will allow me to make a bunch of the decorations that I haven't been able to make yet.
For what it's worth, How Long to Beat has the main story at 27 and a half. So no telling how far.
Well, yeah, that kind of
doing
game,
a lot
I
of
feel like
side
How Long to
stuff,
Beat isn't helpful.
Right. Yeah. So
the whole point of the game is to kill time.
Right.
Yes,
for sure.
Well, that sounds good. That sounds like a game
time.
I should not introduce my wife to, because that sounds like a game that she would get sucked in, because she's been head over heels with Stardew Valley.
Yeah,
she's played like 200 to 300 hours of Stardew Valley.
Hell yeah,
on mobile. Go. She like literally before we were recording, she's like, because I started a new game of Pokemon Sword with my kids just today, and she was like, hey, after you guys do the podcast, can you like play some Stardew Valley on Switch with me to like help me with the controls, because I need to like map buttons for the combat, because I guess on mobile it like auto fights for you as you move around, because it's a mobile game.
Yeah.
So she's like, I would love to play on Switch just so that I can have that and play there. But she's like, but I don't know what to do with that. So I'm gonna help her with that after this. And Fantasy Life I sounds like a game that she would get super into.
Totally.
It sounds similar.
Yeah. I mean, if she can, like, it's button heavy. Like there are a lot of buttons, but it's all on screen to tell you like what button does what when. All that stuff is displayed for you all the time, but it is a lot of button stuff. So she might struggle with
a lot
it
of
at
that's
first,
just,
but
it's just getting used to it. Like she doesn't play video games, and so she's just not used to it. That part of it she can figure out, the muscle memory of it. But that sounds fun. I would love to give it a shot, because there have been many of those types of games that I have really loved. It just needs to be like the right combination of stuff.
Yeah. They do the good harvesting minigame thing where once you, like, let's say you're going to mine a rock, you can rotate around it 360 degrees, and there's a chunk of the angle of it that'll do extra damage. And if you complete the mining on whatever the material is, with like do like over damage by a certain amount, it gives you more XP and more resources, and like more rare resources. So that's pretty dope. Also, Shay, your camera froze for a couple seconds and you were making a really stupid face, and it ruled. Awesome. So check out the YouTube video if you're a podcast listener for that. Whatever the timestamp is, link now, in the description. It'll be the same.
Love that. Yeah, we have a big storm happening, and my internet's been crapping in and out all day. I'll just like keep. Anytime you guys are talking, I'll just be like,
yeah, give me a good smolder.
doing like a nice smolder. That way, if it freezes, I'm making a good face. Well, all right. For the sake of time, let's move on. We have one more new game, and then a couple of oldies. Cody, you wrote down that you wanted to mention EA College Football 2026.
Yeah, I don't have any anecdotes, and I'm not here to like convince y'all to play it. So I just wanted to mention that I'm playing it. It's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of nice quality of life.
Are you playing as Michigan?
No, actually, it's funny. I in both this one and last year, I have yet to actually do a season as Michigan. I like the sort of like weird challenge playthroughs. So like what I did for this year, I guess here's an anecdote, but I did the dynasty mode as the worst team in there. Okay. Which I think was it was Akron. Akron Zips are the worst rated team on there. So
wow, Akron catching strays.
Yeah.
And my like idea was like, all right, can I as a coach work my way up the ladder?
How do I reach these kids?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm now at Northwestern University. I'm in like 2029. I'm at Northwestern. I'm in the Big Ten now, which is great.
That's cool.
So yeah, I just like that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a good time. That's all I gotta say.
There's no shame about enjoying a sports game.
I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed.
Just there was an air of like, you guys don't give a shit about this. It's a video game. We're here to talk about video games.
No, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think it's great. I think it's a great game.
What
I love watching but I like watching college football.
From a gameplay perspective, like I have no clue. But like is there anything like what's the new gameplay iteration this time around? Like that's from previous years. Like cuz usually don't they have like a new like, our ball handling is better this year or something.
Yeah. It's just like
ball handling
less innovation, more improvement on what's there.
Okay.
So because this is only the second one, right?
Of the college.
College
last year was the first one after.
It was the first one that they brought back
years.
After like 20 years.
Right. Yeah. I remember that. Okay.
So this is the second. So it's just better. It's expanded a bit. So like now, if you do the My Career, so Dynasty is where you play as a coach. My Career is where you play as a player. So in My Career, you actually start in high school. So they added a bunch of generic high schools. You get recruited by colleges. You get to do the whole thing where like you're at a press conference and you all the different teams' hats of who you're going to go to college for, and you get to choose one. And like they have a whole thing like that's very modern. for like the modern setting of recruiting high school kids. So like that's fun because I know in the early Madden games there was a select few colleges that you could choose to be a college player at, and then you'd get drafted. So this is sort of the college equivalent of like you get to play high school games, show off your skills in high school, and then get recruited by a bunch of different colleges and be able to choose that. So that's the net new big feature of this game is for the My Career stuff.
Okay, and when you play a My Career thing, like in the actual football games, are you only playing as that one player?
Yes. So if I'm a quarterback, I'm only ever the quarterback. But if I'm a running back, I have no control of when the ball gets snapped.
Right.
If it gets handed to me, I don't get to choose the play.
That's interesting.
I follow the. Yes. Yeah.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah. The different options, I think, it's a good variety.
Yeah.
For people that like that type of game, it's a bunch of different types of experiences.
This is like so me-coded, but it reminds me of the original Star Wars Battlefront 2, where it's like you have a campaign you can play through, or you have like mission select, or you have this like battle, or not battle, galaxy at war. What was it called? The like galaxy mode.
Galactic Conquest. And so it just felt like there were a bunch of different ways to play the game.
Yeah.
With like some different objectives.
Didn't they also have the like heroes only multiplayer stuff too in that? In the second one?
Second one, yeah, on Mos Eisley.
So,
Assault mode.
honestly,
Assault mode was on a couple.
This also has something equivalent to that. So like it's been in Madden for a long time. It's been called Madden Ultimate Team, which is like the growth. That's where the microtransactions really come in. Yeah. Like they sell you essentially, they look like virtual like
a card,
player
right?
cards.
Okay.
And the conceit there is you're collecting players all throughout history to build your like perfect team. That is now also in college with the College Ultimate Team. So there's that mode too of like the like bet like Baker
Best
Mayfield when he was at
players.
Oklahoma. Yeah, like the best college career players.
I don't know about
Very
that.
weird. But I mean, it's a way like that's a huge mode, and you largely just play that online. So like you're either buying packs or earning them by beating other players, unlocking new players to put on your team, and so that's another mode that's in there. I've never played that, but that's also very large. So
interesting. So it's sort of like
hey,
it's like the horse girl game, but football. It's like gotcha. It's like gotcha game, but it's football.
Yeah, it's very gotcha in football. Yep.
I bet there's some dudes out there who would hear that sentence and have a fucking crisis of faith.
Honestly, I feel like most of the dudes that engage with that shit in sports games don't know what gotcha is because they have no idea. Like, they don't play other video games.
I mean, like, if they understood what I was saying, they would have, like...
Right.
They would have to go to church and, like, talk to someone. Be like, am I gay? Am I gay now?
I can't even think of what loot boxes. I couldn't come up with the word of loot, but that's really all it is. It's just a random box of random shit inside.
But like specifically, it's people you're playing as with different stats. I wonder, are there better versions of the same character cards? Like,
I don't know,
because that is true gotcha. Like, I got my triple S rank. Barry Manilow is that?
That's a singer.
He's a singer. Fantastic.
Yep, he's like a jazz singer.
Yes, right. Barry.
You were close though, like
Barry
like a Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders.
Yeah. I don't even know where he went to college. Do you know, Cody?
I don't know what college, but he played for Detroit.
Yeah, he was a big time NFL player. But that's part of what I was gonna say is like classic college players just seems like a weird approach to that. Yeah, because there isn't the same
largely,
kind
I think
of
it's like
memorialization as there is in the NFL.
Yes, totally. I mean, you like it'll still be like Joe Montana, but it's when he's in college. Right. So like he's in his college like
inherently it doesn't because you're only like for most college players they only play for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's not like Steve Young on the 49ers for 15 years or whatever the hell. Like it's just not the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. For sure.
That's dumb. I don't like that. All the other modes sound cool.
Yeah. It's a good time.
Well, there you go. See, we talked about a fucking sports game, okay?
Yeah, more than I thought we would. So I'm
men of many interests.
Yeah.
All games are valid. That's not true.
That's not true.
Not true.
Splitgate
that's all
2,
of our new
not valid.
Not valid. That's all of our new games. We've got a couple of older games, and we can do like, what would we brand this as? Kyle's random game purchase minute. Is that what Crimson Sea is for you? Was this one of the random games that you just decided to buy?
So this is one of the first old games that I bought. This is so when I was creating my spreadsheet and going through all the different console game releases and adding them to my spreadsheet, I came across Crimson Sea. I was like, the fuck is that? And because Cody and I were on a call for it, and we were looking into it, and like, oh, this is an RPG made by Koei before Dynasty Warriors 4 came out, between Dynasty Warriors 3 and 4. That seems fucking fascinating. And so it's like one of the first, because it's early in the alphabet, it was one of the first ones that came up where I was like, I really need to figure, because I love Dynasty Warriors, I really need to figure out what a Dynasty Warriors RPG looks like.
Right.
And so I bought it. I got it at Torg, which is a trade show in Ohio last year? Fall last year?
November, yeah.
Yeah. And have since found the second one. I think when I was up in Michigan, I found the second one. But I finally got around to playing it. And it is a very interesting video game. It's clearly in the Dynasty Warriors engine, because when there's a lot of stuff happening on screen, there's a lot of slowdown. So it's clearly still a Dynasty Warriors. When there's a lot of VFX happening, there's quite a bit of slowdown.
Because it's not
that's
like
part
the
of the
count,
unique
like a
je ne sais quoi.
Yeah,
right. Yes. Because it's not really like a Muso game, but they do the like 1,000 enemies on screen at once kind of a thing. Okay. And they really, there are a couple spots where they really do it with some of the smaller enemies, but it's like it's sci-fi. It must be a very inexperienced translation team, because the writing is crazy random. And it must have been a lot of these voice actors' first or second gigs, because the voice acting is bad. So the voice actor for Momo in Xenosaga 1, well, I guess in all the Xenosaga games, Momo is like your sidekick character. He's like this little young queen, I think is his name. It's like a little sidekick dude. Boy, where do I start with Crimson Sea? It's a strange video game. It's all right. So it's a mission. It's an RPG, kind of. Like, there are some upgrading and stuff that you do. It's mission based, and occasionally, sometimes the missions flow into each other, but occasionally you get to go back to a ship and do some shopping for like upgrades to your weapon or upgrades to your abilities, your neo-psionics, your abilities. And the missions can be any number of kinds of objectives, like just straight up killing enemies until the enemy meter goes down, fighting a boss, or the less interesting ones were like, oh, there's this labyrinth and all you have is a mini map that doesn't show the whole map. And there's a labyrinth and you have to search through the labyrinth on a time limit and find all of these enemies that drop a certain collectible, amidst constantly respawning enemies. That's a less fun mission type. But the story moves super fast. I probably beat it in like 8-9 hours, I think. How long to beat? I think has it in like 10. It's not super long. There are cutscenes at the beginning and at the end of every level. The cutscenes are very short. I welcomed a new woman into my party on one mission, and she didn't know who I was at all before then, and we like got introduced. Like 3 missions later, there are 24 missions in the game. 3 or 4 missions later, she's confessing her love for me and we're making out. and it's like our fates are intertwined. Bro. Like literally like
early
fucking
2000s
Pow-Poo fruit shit. Like that level
that's some real
attachment.
gamer shit, bro.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? One of the first characters you get introduced to is named Live D. Live dash capital D.
Right.
What kind of, because Cody, you know, Shay, what kind of character do you think Live D is? Like in terms of like, It's not okay. So it is a human. Do you think Live D is male or female?
Male.
Nope. It is a female, a blonde female with huge tits. Live D. Who apparently was like a childhood friend of yours who's been watching you grow up from the sidelines and like been spying on you because you have special powers.
Of course. Just collecting your harem of women, just like any JRPG of the era.
Yeah. It's fucking
like
crazy.
Live D to me sounds like a big hulking dude.
Yes. So there is a big hulking dude, and his name is Bo Ron.
Okay, that also makes sense. Yes.
Bo Ron.
That sounds like a big... I should have guessed blonde chick with giant cans, because that... It doesn't matter what the name is. There's going to be one of those in there.
There will be one. What do you think... and it's like, you know, Japanese name. What? Mm-hmm. Well, it's more like a Chinese name. But what name do you think the woman who confessed her love for Rio, the main character?
Oh, the new character.
Yeah. What do you think her name was that confessed her love for him after 3 missions?
Amy.
That is so fucking close, dude. That is so Shami. Shami. S-H-A-M-I. That is so fucking close, Shay. What the fuck? Have you played Crimson Sea?
No. My mind went to that type of character. I feel like those games often give them more Americanized kind of names because they're like the love interest.
Okay.
Like cutesy Americanized
That's
names.
crazy what you just did. But yeah, so it's a really interesting, like, yeah, it's a very strange video game. Control-wise, also, very strange. So, it's not like this is early third-person action game. There are plenty of examples. They were making third-person action games up to this point.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? Maybe the early Dynasty Warriors games controlled this way. But you use the left stick to move front, back, and when you go left or right, it turns the character left or right. So it's sort of like tank controls.
Uh-huh.
And you hold L1, or I was playing on original. This is exclusive to the original Xbox, so I'm holding L. There's only one trigger. I'm holding L, and that activates a strafe mode. I hold R to lock on to an enemy that the cursor is over. The lock-on range, extremely limited. If the enemy moves too much to the side, too fast, it breaks the lock-on. If you get hit, it breaks the lock-on. If you jump, it breaks the lock-on. So the lock-on, not super fucking helpful. The strafe is pretty helpful, though. But, like, the right stick will only move the camera. It's like a Resident Evil 4 C-stick. Like, it moves the camera, like, 90 degrees in any direction. And, like, it's a really limited look around. If you hold both triggers, you enter literal Resident Evil 4 mode, where it's over-the-shoulder, tight, with a laser, like, with your gun to manual aim. I only ever had to use that a couple times. Because there are some bosses that like fly above you and the cursor just isn't good for that. But like Resident Evil 4, you can't move and shoot at the same time in that mode.
Yeah.
Boy howdy, it's a strange video game. You you have a limit of 10 items that you can hold, and you're picking up some items from levels, like healing items. Your special meter is called your BP that allows you to use your Neo Psionics. You can level up your gun parts, your gun barrels, by using them, which is cool. I like that. So the more XP you get by using a gun, the higher the level it becomes, up to like a max of 5, and then increases its stats. Also, your Neo Psionics level up, and when they level up, they are more effective, but also cost more of your meter. You can shortcut and like buy higher tier psionics, like higher level psionics, so you don't have to like level all of them. And I think they did that because there's not enough game to level more than one psionic all the way.
Okay.
Because I started out with like basically like an AoE explosion psionic, and then I ended up just sticking with the cure one, because otherwise, in order to heal, you have to burn your items, and the cure one will cure you and your party members. Mm-hmm. Another system I only found out about from reading the GameFAQs guide, thank you, Dr. GameFAQs, was if you pause the game in a mission, the characters that are with you, there's a formation grid where you can adjust where they are and what direction they face as they travel with you, and each character has specific spots that they are more effective in. So there's a little bit of gamification there about who should go where and who should guard what flank. I found that to be fine. That stuff is interesting. I just think, like, on the whole, the game's structured strangely. The writing is strange as shit. Like, the story moves so fast, and it's a lot of proper nouns, and it's crazy. And the actual gameplay held up fine in normal combat situations. There are some bosses where the controls just do not support you fighting that boss at all. Like the last dude you fight is like teleporting and zipping around and shooting you from a bunch of different, and like the camera move, like the turning with the left stick is so slow, and the lock on gets broken every time he zips around. And those last couple bosses, I thankfully just had a stockpile of stuff to boost my BP so I could keep healing over and over again. Because I burned through a lot of that shit those last few fights. But I'm very glad I played it. It's just weird. It's just a very strange game. I have not played another game quite like that one.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a good game that you are trying to play in this era of your life.
Yes.
Like where you're trying to find overlooked, forgotten 90s, 2000s era BC tier games.
Yes.
And it seems like this is like a good example of that. You know, like your Turok's of the world, and like the random... What was the one you talked about last month that you said was actually really good?
Parasite Eve.
Parasite Eve.
Yes.
Like that era of odd games.
When there was no standardization.
Totally.
People
and like
just
most games
shit.
didn't get sequels, right? Like it was,
Somehow
random
Crimson
stuff.
Sea got a sequel.
Oh, really?
And so the first one is exclusive to the original Xbox. The sequel is exclusive to the PlayStation 2, which is an even weirder thing.
That's great.
I do have the second one. I intend on playing it. I'm not going to play it right away, but I do intend on playing that to like see what is their idea of iteration on this formula.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it is a weird one, but I'm glad I played it.
Well, Cody, I don't think it was the last podcast, but I think it was on our top 25 or the last 25. You mentioned wanting to spend a lot more time with WoW, and I see that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been enjoying your time with WoW?
Yeah. So.
And Kyle, did Kyle play some WoW with you?
Kyle's been in there as well.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Miss Pandaria Classic. So WoW Classic's been a thing. You know, they have their current retail, which is like the current modern World of Warcraft that's being actively added onto. They also have WoW Classic, which is, you know, take it back to its roots, and it's slowly going through all the expansions as well. Miss Pandaria, which is the fourth expansion.
What is it? BC?
Yeah, it was
Lich King,
Burning Crusade, Lich King,
Cataclysm, Pandaria,
and yes.
Okay,
this is the fourth expansion. That was aside from Wrath of the Lich King, this was probably my second favorite expansion on WoW, and this is probably the last one I played of like retail WoW before I just stopped playing. And I had a lot of fondness for, so I knew I wanted to jump back into this. But also I really, as I mentioned in that top 25 video, I love WoW. It's a game that I'll probably always return to periodically for the rest of my life. I'm enjoying. So myself, Kyle, and Kyle's partner, all created characters. Kyle's partner plays regularly, like even more than I do.
They raid every week with a guild and stuff.
I knew I wanted to create a panda because the panda is the new race that you can play as, and there's a new class of the monks. So I made a panda monk. We all three made pandas. We've gotten to level like 50, mid 50s.
Yeah, mid 50s.
And the new level cap is 90 with Pandaria. So we're like but I think this is the furthest I've played with Kyle. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, Trisala, my character Trisala was late 40s, I think, level wise, which was the farthest I'd gotten on a character ever, because my dwarf hunter that I had back in BC, like original Burning Crusade, I stopped playing around 30 something, I think.
Okay. And that's been a lot of fun. I'm not going to speak for Kyle, but I've had a lot of fun playing. It's been fun. That game is better. It's been fun. The game is significantly better playing with a group, especially when you're doing questing and whatnot.
Right.
It makes it go
and like
tenfold faster.
This expansion has so many quality of life changes with questing. Like a lot of quests will let you turn in out in the field and then start the next quest step while you're there instead of having to like
go all the
way back, come all the way back. So there's a lot of like fine tuning they did with some of the quests.
Previously, like with things you had to loot off bodies, it would only be maybe the person who killed it that could loot the thing. But now, in a lot of quests, all three of us are able to pick up the thing from the dead body, which makes it go way faster. A lot of really great quality of life stuff. It's been a lot of fun. Conversely, you know, I know WoW is touchy with Kyle, so I don't try to badger him to play too often because I'm trying to ride this wave for as long as it'll take me. Because I do very much enjoy it. So because I'm wanting to experience the content a lot more, I've also created a separate character on my own. Mm-hmm. And this isn't anything to be proud of, but I made a character last Thursday, a week ago, about this time, about 10 o'clock at night. I made it on Thursday. Earlier today, so in a week, a little less than a week technically, I just hit 85 on that character.
Jesus
so
Christ.
Now, 85
Remember what I was saying
90,
to my kids? Do you remember this conversation about the kids?
85 to 90 is the new content. So I'm now actually able to play the new quests that were added with Pandaria. And those have been really great so far. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying playing by myself, and I'm enjoying playing with the group when we do. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's good time.
Yeah, we've been playing like once a week ish.
Yeah, it's about once a week. Yeah, a couple hours.
Well, cool. Final game on the list it's not like an old game, but it is an old game from a few years ago. I played some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the like quote unquote new version.
Okay.
I actually played this 2 months ago and forgot. And then like 2 weeks ago, I was like, I had a Saturday afternoon where I had 2 hours and I didn't have anything else. I was like, shit, man, let me go play some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Like, I've been meaning to, since they added that to Game Pass, I've been meaning to go back to that and go play it. Let me go play that. I booted it up and I was like, why is it not like starting? Why am I like at a mission select screen? And then I was like, oh, it's because I played some of this a month ago. I forgot. I played like 4 hours of this. So I finished it. I hate that game. I did not have fun hardly at all. I don't know what is different because I played the first Modern Warfare and mostly had a good time. Some of the like quirky missions I thought were lame, like when you're playing as the chick as a child and you're like stealthing around. Like some of that stuff I'm like, this isn't fun to do. I get why you want to break up the shooty.
Yeah, I wish when you were replaying those campaigns, you just had an option to like skip those sequences.
But I hadn't played that before. Because that wasn't in the original Modern Warfare.
Right. I guess I figured you had played that prior and you're just replaying it.
No. Okay. So I went into Modern Warfare 2 a couple months ago, having never played Modern Warfare 2. I played the original Modern Warfare 2 back in like 2009, whatever. Yeah. But this was the first time with the new one. Okay. So I finished that. And it was, I find the mission structure to be so rigid so often. Like if you do a slightly different thing, it just like game over screens you. And it's so annoying. Compounded with Modern Warfare 2 introduces way more stealth missions where like there's a whole section where you don't have a gun and so you're picking up crafting materials.
Right.
It's like The Last of Us where like you're finding like nuts and bolts and like a shard of glass. And the biggest issue that I have with it is just the enemy AI is so sporadic that it makes stealth feel like a game of chance. Like they're never going to be in the same spot minute to minute. There's no pathing. Like some of them are just dumb and just like stand and stare at a wall. But like the rest of them are running around, and you never know when they're going to turn around. And that you get caught so much, and it ruined the entire experience for me. Not to mention the final mission is that the final boss battle is stealth bullshit, and then I did it, and then I was like, oh, the game's over. Yeah. What? Where's the big bombastic bullshit? I did not have a good time, and I know Modern Warfare 3 is horrible, and I feel obligated to play it because I've replayed in the last year the first one and the second one. But now I'm extra... Like, I was hoping to at least be going out on a high with Modern Warfare 2 into a bad game. And now I'm going from a game that I didn't like into a bad game, which feels bad.
Yeah. I liked the idea of picking up and crafting and, like, trying to be resourceful for that mission or whatever. But yeah, I had the same problems as you with the AI, where it felt like I lucked my way through when I finally beat that part.
Yeah,
right.
And then same with that.
I thought the environment design and like the story that is happening, because like, you know, hey, shocker, the PMC group goes bad and is killing everybody and committing war crimes. But it's very compelling and dark and like tense, right?
Yeah.
But the gameplay part of it was just not fun to do.
I remember now that you mentioned that. I really hated that the final thing was that stealth.
Yes.
I really did.
And I think because you're like trying to hack into a missile to like blow it up or take it off course. And so I think the game wants you to have your like computer and be running from spot to spot, hiding, finding ways around, and like constantly opening and closing, and like that's what builds the tension. The problem is the first spot I went to was like kind of tucked behind a table, and so the dude, one of the bad guys, knew I was there, but he couldn't get to me physically, and so I just did it, and then it was over.
You gotta show me
then
that
they
strat.
were like. Then they were like, oh, now you gotta escape or whatever. And unfortunately, because of where I was, standing up, the enemy knew where I was, and I didn't have any materials. So I have to stand up and escape, but the guy already knows I'm there. So I died like 15 times because there's nothing I can do. I stand up and he kills me. And I eventually just got lucky where I was able to time it right, where I could like bum rush him and just melee him a bunch of times and like punch him until he died. And then I escaped and did the rest of the mission. So even that part, I broke the game, and then it made it even less fun.
Yeah.
I was so bummed. I was looking forward to it a lot.
I think like the storytelling in those remakes the storytelling is really good, and I think there's some like, really neat like affecting sequences. But yeah, they do both have their levels that are like, when I think about going back to replaying them, I'm like, I really don't want to do that fucking level.
There are very fun levels. Like there's it's like the ghillie suit mission in Modern Warfare 2.
That's cool.
Where I think you're playing as Gaz or whatever. And that one, it's super open. There's like a big, landing strip kind of spot, and you can take it in different orders. That part of it's awesome. I love that mission. But most of the missions are either super on rails. Like there's the one where you're in the AC-130 style. Yeah. And like I failed that mission 10 times because I shot too early. I didn't even kill civilians. They were just like, we didn't give you the okay to, and I'm just like, but those are bad guys. I know that they're there. And it's like it's a game made for children where you're murdering hundreds of people. Like I don't understand. Like if your game is rated M and adults are playing it, treat me like an adult. You don't need to hold my hand, man. I know how to cross the street. That's how I feel about it.
I think
makes me want to go replay the originals, though.
Modern Warfare 2 is the one with that like urban mission, right? Where like you're going like with like a SWAT team through that house. Is that the second Modern Warfare 2?
That is possible, but if it is, that was one of the missions I played a couple months ago because I don't remember it.
I think that's the first one.
Is it the first one?
It might be the first one.
Well, it's like super photorealistic and like really intense.
Well, maybe that is the second. I don't know.
Well, because I don't remember it. There's one where there's like a Middle Eastern house where like you're looking for a target.
Yes, and that's like, definitely in the second one.
That's in the second one. Okay, but then I remember there being like an urban one like a multi-level apartment complex thing that you're doing it in, like a small apartment thing. Can't remember what. That's not a good sign that they all flow together like that. But
true.
Those are really intense kinds of missions.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, I'll get to Modern Warfare 3 eventually, and I'm sure I'm gonna hate it, but I feel obligated now. What are you gonna do? Well, that is our playlist. Sure. It's everything we've been playing in the last month. Pretty hefty list.
Yeah.
I feel like last month I commented that this month was going to be pretty eclectic because there's not a lot of new games. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that definitely bore out.
Yeah.
A lot of random genres and stuff baked in there. Let us move on to some critical hits. Let's chat about the Game Informer mag.
Sure.
Kyle, you and I both resubbed to Game Informer, got our first issues. You're smart. Oh, I do have mine. There we go.
Listeners,
I'm wired
Shay and I are holding up our
it.
Game Informer copies.
Yeah. Oh, and you put yours in some laminate, some
of course he
casing.
Did. He's a freak.
I'm a fucking freak.
I did not.
I have a giant.
I will.
I have a giant pack of sleeves and cardboard inserts. So like, fucking why not?
I do too. They're in my garage from all my comic books.
Yeah, well, because like I get the Video Game History Foundation magazines every month, the retro mags, and those come in these. And so it's like, well, I'm getting new Game Informers, new mag. I may as well put these in there too.
Might as well.
I want to keep them nice. So yeah, what did you think of this new first issue?
I love getting a printed magazine that I can read. It gets me off of my phone. I do feel like I went through it pretty quick. Unfortunately,
I tried to take my time.
Now I have to wait. I know I tried to also, but now I have to wait like 3 weeks until I get the next one now, which is a bummer. I think it's great for the kind of content that I want to consume, and having something that is printed. It unfortunately is just an irrelevant way to distribute gaming content in this digital world that we are in. Like,
so the
news is almost exclusively outdated. The previews are outdated. Like, in this magazine, it's a bunch of reactions to like the Summer Game Fest stuff. Right. And I'm like, bro, that was 2 months ago, man. But like I like it, right? I like reading about it. I'm just saying, for like a more casual person, they're not going to care at all. Like, this is not something that will like bring magazines back. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think that's the pitch either, though. I feel like
it isn't.
They know.
Yes,
their audience. You're right in that it is a lot of like largely irrelevant stuff. They have like their cover story stuff, like some of their like behind closed doors looks, like that's new information.
That's what it needs to be.
That is what
exclusive.
No, so I disagree. A lot of the other stuff, because it is also larger page count than the magazine used to be. It's a thicker boy,
and no ads.
Yes, and no ads. I found that I was reminded of a lot of things I had forgotten about by reading this, because news moves so fast. I felt like this was a nice way to reground myself in the events that are not too distant past, so like are still relevant, and maybe some conversations are still going on, but I felt like I was reminded of a lot of things reading this, which I appreciated, because sometimes I have a hard time holding all of it in my head, because
That's fair.
News moves so fast.
Like I like reading opinions about video games, and so I like reading the preview coverage of games that I've seen preview coverage of for a month now. I still like reading. Like, I want to hear what they have to say about the new Shinobi game coming out next month. They did like a whole dedicated 3-page spread to that game. Like, that's sure, cool. That's fun. But I think the bigger value is the random stuff that they do. Like, they did a big spread on the making of Alien Isolation. Yeah, and like that was the design really cool. of the alien in that. And like, that game came out however long ago. At the end, they always have an interview, and this one was with like one of the creators of the style behind Sonic. And like, just the random video game history, the people that make games stuff. I think it is a good balance, but I'd almost like to see more of that type of content, where it feels like I'm learning something rather than just consuming more opinions about video games.
I feel like this time, because Summer Game Fest had happened, that took up a good chunk of pages. And so maybe next time there will be a little bit more of that instead of that.
That's fair.
Like preview stuff. But yeah,
I was also reminded by why I stopped caring about Game Informer's review content, which is to say every game that comes out gets at least an 8 from them. Like they even retroactively reviewed a bunch of games that came out in between when they were releasing mags. And like, I think there was one game in the 30 reviews that they had below an 8 in score.
Were there games on there that you believed were lower than an 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
so they weren't just cherry picking good games for that?
For many of the like retroactive reviews, it was a lot of like the big releases, which would obviously tend more towards good review stuff. But yeah, just reading the reviews, like, and it's more so a lot of scores feel very inflated and always have in Game Informer. Like, they gave Doom the Dark Ages a 9.5.
Yeah, like that's...
And they even commented about how, like,
8.5 game.
Hey, the story is not good, the dragon flying is not good, the big mech stuff is not good, but 9.5. Like, that just feels like it's the scores often feel inflated compared to the actual content of the review. It's a lot of times how it feels.
Yeah. I guess I don't know.
But yeah, I'm not trying to like shit on it. They're allowed to have whatever opinion they want. It's just I remember that's why I started writing off a lot of their review content years ago, is because it just felt like everything was an 8 to 9. But that's kind of how reviews are these days.
Maybe this is a larger discussion for a later time, but where do you stand? Where do both of you stand on review scores in general? Do you think they're a net detraction from the review? Like, do you think like reviews should not have numerical scores? It should be some other form. I mean, like, where do you sit on that?
I think just a number is not helpful. Because it is very subjective and is divorced from the context entirely, because every person's barometer and every person's meter is different. So you need the context of a written or like spoken review to go along with the number. And I think things like OpenCritic and Metacritic, I know we use them for like our fantasy critic stuff. I do not find that to be inherently valuable in any way, because those numbers are aggregates based off of variables that like you have no context for. I think numbers matter if you know and follow the person who's continually giving those numbers, because then you have something to compare it against. Otherwise, you kind of don't. There is no baseline if you're not looking at the same person's numbers over and over again.
I think especially these days, scores are way less useful. And it's funny because I feel like the process of reviewing games has gotten much better. Like the critical analysis of video games as an entertainment and or art form is so much better than it was 20 years ago.
It's matured a lot.
Yeah, it's matured. But at the end of the day, we're still just assigning a number to it or a number of stars to it. And I tend to like my boy Skill Up. He typically will do like I recommend, I don't recommend, I strongly recommend. And that's his barometer. And like, I think that's probably a best version of a score, right? Because you could say I strongly recommend, that's probably a 9. I recommend is 7 or 8. Like, you can still give an arbitrary number to it, but it removes some of the arbitrariness from a literal number. As like a highly OCD person that loves listing and ranking things, I get joy out of assigning a number to a thing, but I also feel like it removes all value from the analysis of said thing. Yeah. When I was writing on my website years ago, I didn't do scores. And when I would have something that would get a little bit of pickup, I would get comments like, what score? Like, what would you score it? And I hate that shit.
Read the words, idiot.
But also, if that's what your audience is asking for, should you not give it to them? And so, like, I started doing scores.
You should spray them with a water bottle in the face.
Yeah. You can do what you wanted to do. My approach was I should give them scores if that's what they want. But I hate that that's what people focus on. People click on IGN, they don't watch the video, they skip to the end, or even worse, they scroll down to the comments where someone has said, it's a 7. I saved you time. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You didn't save me time. I'm trying to learn about what this person thinks about a video game. Knowing that they gave it a 7 does not teach me anything about what they thought about the video game.
Yeah.
So the short version, Cody, is I fucking hate scores, but I also understand from a consumer perspective that they have a value.
Yeah.
I wish they did not.
Right.
I wish that people gave enough of a shit to put forth effort into understanding criticism.
Yeah,
I think not.
I think with the democratization of games criticism, numbers matter less. Because now there are more people's proclivities towards games, value system towards games are like everybody has someone that they resonate with, whose tastes they resonate with, somewhere out there that is offering feedback on the games that they care about.
Yeah.
So therefore, the number system does not matter as much because it really should be about finding the person who is like-minded about video games and seeking out their, like, if you're trying to make an informed purchasing decision, that is the thing that you should be doing. If you're just looking to like get into the idea of in the conversation around games and broaden your ideals, then obviously you'd want to look for people who have different kinds of opinions than you. You would like try to hear what they have to say about things. But if you're trying to make an informed purchasing decision, I don't know that numbers are that help. Like the aggregate sources of numbers are all that useful. And yet we assign the industry assigns a lot of
man,
a lot of
lots
money
of like bonuses. People like developer bonuses can be based on hitting it 85 Metacritic, whatever. It's so asinine, and like that's horrible for the actual reviewers too. Like that's not the point.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
They're not.
For sure.
You know, that sucks.
I don't mean to derail the conversation. Just want.
No, it's a good conversation. I think. Yeah, and again, like when we do our retrospective stuff and looking back at 2001, 2002, you see this huge wide gamut on game rankings, aggregate scores.
Right.
And I feel like when you look at them now, it's like if you go to OpenCritic and a game has like a 71, you're like, ooh, that's not good. Like, that's still totally fine. It's just scores are so inflated these days. A game has to be completely, truly broken to get below a 6. It has to be like unplayable to get below a 6. Like, what's the point? The numbers are so stupid. Which is why when I added numbers, I just did a 100-point scale. Because I was like, fuck it. 9.6, 8.1. Fuck you. Like, what's the difference between an 8.1 and an 8.2? Who gives a shit? But I do think simplicity is better. Like, I know IGN just does a 10-point scale now.
Yeah.
Game Informers is whatever, a 40-point scale, I guess it would be. Or like 8.25. Like that feels like a step too far. If you want to do a 0.5, I think that's fine. But that's the most. 0.5, solid number, or like I know they used to talk about it with Giant Bomb, where it was a 5-star scale. And no half stars. Is this a 3-star or is it a 4-star? And that's like tough.
I also watched someone who does it on a 10-point, but does I think it's a 8, but closer to a 7 than a 9. I think that's a smart way to do it too.
No, what are we doing? Why?
I mean, without getting too granular of like, oh, it's an 8.3. You know, like.
But then that's if they're finding themselves doing that, they need to add another layer, because a game shouldn't be an 8, but it's closer to a 7 than a 9. It should be a 7.5. If that's how you feel about it, it should be a 7.5.
Sure.
There's no value in a 7.6. Like, there's no value in that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the real answer is we should, like, let's get rid of review scores. People should be thinking.
Yes.
Let's make people think. We're not giving scores on any of the shit we're talking about. Maybe someday we will. We've talked about like other content, right? I'm just saying theoretically, like we have talked about, would we want to explore doing reviews in the future? And we would kind of have to, our audience has to also tell us. Maybe it's refreshing to hear games talked about the way that we talk about them and not assigning a score and putting it out there. Like I have my IGN playlist app where I score all the games that I've ever played. And that's fun. Again, that's my OCD fun thing to do, but I don't care.
Well, but
if it's a 9 or a 10.
Your scores for yourself has value because you are your own baseline. You always have a reference point for those numbers. So they're like that matters.
Right. I'm not telling someone else it's a 9 out of 10, right? Like it's a metric for me. You're right. Yeah. It's a comparative metric for myself. Yeah.
So anyway, Game Informer.
Yeah. I think the quality of the writing, I was totally satisfied with it. I think that continues to be a strong point.
Do they still do Game and Farser?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think I saw that.
I think they had still been doing Game and Farser.
Yeah, maybe they did, and I just don't remember. I read it this was like a couple weeks ago. I read it. I don't remember.
No. They would do a whole issue.
Oh, right, the issue, Game and Farser issue.
It was their like April Fool's issue.
I was thinking there was like a page.
Yeah, there was usually
like a
page.
joke page usually.
A fake headline.
Well, that was not in this.
No,
there was not one like that in this new version. That was their old editor-in-chief, Andy McNamara, who was their EIC for a long time. They might have dropped that after he left. That might have been something he was passionate about.
Yeah.
But anyway, you cannot get these at GameStop anymore, correct?
Correct.
They're totally detached.
Yeah, you just order it from the website. Yeah.
Nice.
And you need to make a new account because they're totally detached from all of that, those data centers and stuff. So you need to make a new account on Game Informer and sign up. It is very reasonably priced.
Yes, I'm happy to support them. I love having a print media thing. It's just nice to get. It's very nostalgic and just as important for me personally. It gets me off my phone.
Yeah.
When I'm just trying to kill a little bit of time. So I like that.
Yeah.
Kyle, you also got your horror game magazine, Fearzine. And remind me, is this like a quarterly or is this monthly?
So the website says quarterly. I don't think it is because they're behind on their issue 3. So all right. It's a little confusing because they started like crowdfunding, I think, and then moved to just like their website payment model for these. The first issue was digital only. The second issue also contains like some rewriting and some expansions of the stories in that digital only first issue.
Interesting.
It's a little confusing. The third issue is like wholly its own thing though. So I feel like they're still trying to figure out their pacing.
Yeah, figuring it out.
And presumably that third issue should be sometime in August. Which second issue was fall of 2024, so fall of last year. So third issue in August. Yeah. Well, because I just found out about it and bought it.
Oh, okay. I thought this was their new issue.
No,
it's just that you just subscribed and you were
correct.
behind.
So there has not been an issue since fall 2024.
Got it.
So it's currently like an annual kind of a deal.
Yeah.
It's just like it's not a subscription. It's you buy them issue by issue. And you can purchase them both digitally and physically, or just digitally or just physically. I'm just buying physical. I found the quality of writing to not be consistent because they have a lot of contributors. I also don't know how much of that is like they took stuff from the digital issue and like expanded on it. And so some weirdness might have happened when they tried to like go back to their old articles and like expand on them or rewrite them or whatever. I just found so the pacing, I think there's an issue with pacing in the layout. It's just kind of like there are huge because it's very thick. It's very thick. It's thicker than the Game Informer issue. The there are huge blocks of the same kinds of content, and they're not broken up very well. So it's just like a lot of pages of small blurbs about these games, and then a block, and then a lot of pages of small blurbs. And I found the small blurbs to be entirely unhelpful. I was really just kind of treating it as like, here's a list of games.
Are they like previews of games? Like, what are the small blurbs?
So they are previews. And then in the back end of the magazine is where they have some of their retrospective pieces, but they're in their own block. And I feel like that should have been sprinkled throughout to help break up the pacing. I have some notes for these folks.
Could use more of maybe of a experienced editor.
Yes, for sure. I think it's a really, like, there is one editor, and like it's like a super small group of people doing this.
Sure.
There's one editor-in-chief, a layout art direction editor, a regular editor, a website manager, and a bunch of contributors and guest writers. So like that's all they have, right? So it's like a very limited crew doing this. I will say their cover story game for this issue, Nightmare Operator, is like a PlayStation 1 retro graphic style third-person action shooter game that blends survival horror elements with fighting game input mechanics. So like reloading and pulling off special moves and stuff, you hold a button and do like fighting game stick inputs. Like doing like a Hadouken or whatever from whatever fighting game has those.
Similar to like an engram in Helldivers?
Sort of, yes. Similar, yes. But I guess it's a game made by a developer or a couple developers that are really passionate about fighting games and like wanna teach people how to get into them by inserting some of those mechanics into different genres. And I think this is a really interesting looking game because like visually, aesthetic wise, I'm super into that. And like the idea of like new gameplay mechanics threaded into a formula I'm familiar with is an interesting concept. So I'm super excited to check this one out when it comes out. I don't think it has a release date yet, but so that was their cover story, and that's really cool. I will say I've added probably 8 games to my Steam wish list just flipping through this thing.
That's cool.
Like, there are a few, like, I'm identifying a couple of people in here who do write well, and so, like, now that I know their names, I know to, like, look at their write-ups for things more so than others who are really kind of boilerplate. Like, there are some blurbs in here where I'll be reading through and like I don't know what kind of video game this is. Like I don't know what kind of horror, like what's the moment to moment. It's not so like it feels like they also need a standards tentpole where it's every video game we're going to touch on these 3 components. We need to make sure we touch on those. You can add frills, emphasis in whatever areas you want, but we need the end user experience people need this information. It feels like it didn't have that kind of focus or a pass on it. Hopefully, again, issue 2, very small team doing it. Hopefully these are things they're working on and taking feedback on. I will say like quality of the magazine, I'm super happy with like the print quality. I think the layout is pretty boilerplate. I think like it feels very dated, I guess, which is, it's hard to know if that's intentional because they are look like branding is more of like a retro thing. It's hard to know if that's intentional or if it's just like lack of time and talent. It's hard to know. Like some of the layouts are good, and then like their regular layouts for like their smaller blurb stuff I find to be kind of uninspired and a little busy.
I feel that way, not busy, but I feel that way a little bit about the Game Informer stuff, especially with their reviews and their standard previews, because it's a lot of words, which is good, but then they just got like obviously static images, but like they're not dressed up at all. They're just white page, random rectangle, and it's just like it begins to feel a little more newspaper than magazine experience, which is a
Yeah.
little bit of a bummer.
And
The
I guess
like
I'll
deeper
show
dive
this
stuff is
spread
great.
on camera for the
Yeah,
video
like
folks.
that's awesome.
Like,
I would love more of
there's
that
a
in
lot-
Game Informer.
There's a lot going on. It doesn't help with readability, I should say.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
Now, what they do is for all these blurbs, like you get the 2 screenshots, right? And then you get a few paragraphs. You get some like white text over black background, info on the game release date, platforms, etc. But I found readability to be a little bit of a problem in some places. And again, like the words that are there don't always give you the information you're looking for when trying to figure
Right.
out what a video game is.
Right.
I will say I enjoyed their like reviews of more modern games, and I also really enjoyed their looks back at like, so they have a Dino Crisis write-up, a Resident Evil 1 write-up, Silent Hill, and Resident Evil 4. The Resident Evil 4 one is really good, of course, because that game deserves it. But yeah, it's an interesting package. I got a lot out of reading it. I found out about a lot of games I would not have known about otherwise. So certainly a lot of value for me there. It does feel a little prototypey right now.
Right.
So,
Which, yeah, makes sense.
yeah. So just, if you're listening or watching and you heard me talk about Fearzine last month and that was interesting to you, hopefully this helps you make an informed decision on whether or not this is something you want to look at. Again, I think there's a lot of information in here. Not all of it is the information you need, but at the very least, it gives you a list of games to be looking at, and then doing some additional supplementary research if you need to, which is what I was doing. So, but yeah,
It's a cool
I think
thing, though.
it is a very cool, crazy niche thing, like that they actually managed to make a print magazine, because that doesn't seem like an easy thing to do.
Right.
Let alone for a small niche like this. So, yeah, it's interesting.
I was reminded with one more comment about Game Informer, which is one of the biggest bummers every month would be getting the mag and seeing the cover story and it being about a game I don't care about. Because then you're like, ugh, like their big like 10-page thing. Like, I don't want to read that. And I had that happen because the Borderlands 4 one, like I'm super interested in reading about that game. That's a game, I'm a little on the fence about, but I'm very interested in it. And they've reviewed, because the digital issue of the next issue is out. And their cover story is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. And I'm like, boy, howdy.
Okay.
Couldn't care less about that shit. So now I'm like excited to get my next mag, but then I'm like, because I'm gonna read it. I want to read everything in it. I want to get my money's worth, but I don't care about that game.
So, Bloodlines 2, I don't know that I care about the video game. I am very interested in the story about the game getting made, because
But that's what I'm like.
gone through a lot.
Are we gonna
of
get
shit.
that though?
I hope.
Like,
I would
the
think
cover
so.
story isn't really. The cover story is rarely really about that. It's
I don't know.
More,
They had like a whole write-up. So I did skip the first couple pages of the Borderlands write-up because it was all about an interview with Randy Pitchford, and fuck him. So I ignored most of that and just got into where they were talking about the game. But like that seems like the kind of thing that would be addressed and talked about, maybe in a too corporate boilerplatey way. But
that's what I'm
some
saying.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like the video game company is treating this as a marketing channel for their game. I feel like they're not going to want to give some details about the troubled development of their game that they're trying to get on store shelves.
Yeah. I mean, you never know what people walk away with conversations had on the side or whatever. So
yeah, but it's like, are they allowed to print that? Like that's the Jason Schreier Forbes article, not like, you know what I mean? Like that's the journalism versus the games journalism, which is the sneer quotes version of what journalism actually is. And Game Informer is far more games journalism, which that's all it's trying to be. It's, I'm not saying they need to be
versus
like they don't need to be
fair.
breaking
Editorial. news
and uncovering and doing all these like anonymous interviews, right? That's not what they're trying to do. I'm just saying for a game like, Matt Bloodlines 2, I would be super interested in the behind the scenes drama of making that game, but I don't think we're going to get that in the Game Informer mag.
Yeah, probably not.
But maybe we will. Maybe they'll pivot, Well, okay, we should move on for the sake of time. Cody, I'll let you intro how you want to chat about the Glen Schofield stuff.
Sure. So honestly, I was struggling to come up with a critical hit this week, so I was just sort of scouring.
Always a good way to start. I kind of backed into this thing that I don't really care about. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
No. There's almost too much to talk about. I couldn't choose just one. So I found this article, and I think it relates to a larger discussion I wanted to have. Glen Schofield. Let's just set it up like this. This is a PC Gamer article by Andy Chalk at PC Gamer, and I'll prompt it with a small blurb from the article. Glen Schofield, creator of Dead Space and the director of the Callisto Protocol, has revealed that he may have directed his final game due to funding struggles. Over the past 8 months, he quietly developed a unique horror concept with his daughter, Nicole, pulling together a small team and crafting a prototype with a proposed $17 million budget. Despite positive feedback, including second and third meetings, publisher interest plummeted, with offers eventually falling to just $2 to $5 million. Concluding that some ideas are better left untouched than done cheap, Schofield and his team walked away from the project last month, leaving several developers, including his daughter, searching for new work. Schofield describes the current gaming landscape as being on pause, noting that even with the decades of experience across indie to AAA titles, securing meaningful funding has become daunting. He reflects on a long history of working with teams ranging from 2 people to hundreds, and admits the AAA-sized development, quote, feels like it's a long ways away for him now. Though he's returned to art, storytelling, and creative pursuits, he questions whether he'll ever direct another game, thanking fans for their past support as he considers stepping back. And then one final note I added on here is just to put that $17 million request in perspective. Granted, these are much larger titles by, more so first party. Not all of them, but some. This first one's first party. The Last of Us 2 was $220 million to make. Cyberpunk was $174 million. Hogwarts Legacy, $150 million. And even Hellblade 2, certainly smaller scale than those games, was 30 to 50. He came in with a $17 million budget and is not getting any investment there. So this leads into the question of this guy has the pedigree. Maybe Callisto Protocol wasn't quite exactly the follow-up everyone would have wanted to a Dead Space, but still, he has the prototype made. He has the developers there to make it. It received positive feedback, and he's asking a nominal budget. What's happening? This is sort of the larger discussion here.
Investors are done investing in games right now. So for a little while, money was cheap in terms of
COVID in particular.
Yes. And so there's a huge boom of investments in games companies. A lot of that stuff didn't pan out, and now the global economy is in trouble. And so investors are being very picky and choosy and conservative about the kinds of projects that they're investing in. And games,
and that's not a games problem.
No, games have proven
with
to be
anything.
Yeah, and games specifically have proven to be very volatile and with shrinking growth in some areas. And so it becomes a higher risk of investment because the money. There are other safer investments to make right now for returns.
Even many of those safer investments are still struggling to get funded because the millionaires with the dollars are just terrified of the current economy. Yeah. Like even businesses, like tech companies, right. A lot of them are struggling to find dollars because investors, like most investors or these investing conglomerates, have their hands in hundreds of different companies and organizations and whatever, and their focus is on the high return current successes or smaller return safe bets. The big return risk, no thank you, and certainly the small return risk, extra no thank you. So when you look at a game like whatever Glen Schofield is pitching, 17 million, that's small. But what's the potential return on a game made with only $17 million? That's not worth it. The risk combined with the return, it's like negative. Because it's high risk, because it's a new IP, whatever. I know that.
Yeah,
100%.
It's you have a product whose which its creation is dependent upon people who are not art, right? The creation of this art, which also happens to be a product, it is dependent upon the investment of people who don't give a shit about that art. They just care about the dollar signs. Like they don't have any, like they don't want to see a game get made because they really want that game to get made. They have no, in most cases, I would assume, they don't really have a connection to the game's space. It's just a numbers game. It's a series of spreadsheets and graphs.
That's evident by this article. I mean, this prototype received pretty positive feedback and had multiple meetings, and it doesn't seem to have been about the game itself. It was the cost that he was right. Yeah, it was the budget that he was wanting.
And it's like historically, investors have always wanted to have a balanced portfolio, and that goes for like a games publisher or anyone that's actually like giving money to an independent developer that's going to publish on their own. They wanted a balanced portfolio because that's how you build a business. Like regardless of what your business is or what the product is, you need a balanced market of consumers for your product.
Yeah, because if one area is doing expensive, the other areas can buoy it for a while.
And because everything has gone down, the bottom part has ceased to exist. The low return stuff, the risk stuff is gone. And now it's high return safe and maybe a sprinkling of low return safe. But even that, a lot of it has gone. It's all like, what is our confident high return shit? And this is across every industry. Like if you look at entertainment, right? Like you'll see directors talk about this all the time and writers talk about this all this time. I've got this great script. I've made dozens of amazing movies. I can't get it made because the response is always, we want to make movies that cost $200 million that will make us $900 million. I don't want to make a $20 million movie that'll make me 50. I don't give a shit about that. They're not trying to balance their portfolio.
That kills innovation.
Yeah, dude. And it's going to kill the industry.
Yeah.
That's capitalism, baby. Like this was always going to be the end point. Yep. When everything in the entire world is contingent on a single number going up or down arbitrarily, this was always going to be a thing that happens. Because there's always been ups and downs.
Like at a certain point, you
ride the wave.
Yeah, the number gets to be too high to go any higher because the systems that sustain it cannot continue to sustain it. So it crashes, and then it just builds itself back up, and then it crashes. And when it crashes, you and I are the people who suffer. The people who make the games are the people who suffer. The people who are investors who have balanced portfolios,
who made the crash
happen through the boom and bust structure of our economy, they are not suffering because they have balanced portfolios. Because while the games portfolio is crashing, their military portfolio is not, or like, whatever the other industry is, like AI investments are not.
It's also sort of an Ouroboros situation of like,
yes, it is a system that consumes itself constantly.
Yeah, because you don't have these new creators able to take a chance and take a risk and try something new. You're never going to innovate past that and potentially fix the market because they're not given a chance to make their thing, which is why it's crazy, wild, and frankly awesome that Clair Obscur exists. Mm-hmm. Like that's incredible. And hopefully that's a success story that leads to more stories like that.
A game like Baldur's Gate 3 is another great example of that. And because that was going to be my other point, which is related but separate, which is I think one of the reasons that they're struggling to get funding is because that type of engagement, which used to dominate the industry, is far more rare now, just in general, which is we're an independent studio pitching our game to a bunch of different investors and publishers. That just happens way less now in the AA to AAA space because most stuff is first or second party now. Most his original company, right? They were owned by Krafton or whatever. And that was their publisher who's giving their investment. They're not they're pitching ideas and they're still pitching their game, but it's within their organization. That's just the same as you or I pitching a new project or we should hire an employee or whatever, but it's within your organization where the cost structure is mutually understood. he's now going and pitching these games to investors that he doesn't know, that have nothing. Like, I mean, he might know them on a personal level, but they're not mutually involved in the process. And that's why AAA games, like all of these studios, get bought up and bought up and bought up, and everything gets mashed together, because that also lowers risk for publishers when they could be more involved in the actual development and feel like they're in control. We see how that works a lot of times, but they view it as a benefit. And so you just see this kind of engagement less and less. Which is why a lot of indies are just self-publish, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say, is that the dream now for game developers, is just to be able to have that critical hit, have someone take a chance on them, have a critical hit to get to the point where they can just say, okay, I don't need you to invest in me anymore. I can invest in myself now. I mean, and just self-publish.
I would imagine that's the dream of a majority of developers, to do the animal well, right? Yeah. And he didn't self-publish, right? The whatever Donkey's game, but it was a new games publisher with a person who's known in the industry, who's passionate about games and isn't a bottom line watcher. Yeah, of course that's the dream, because now that person can go like Balatro, like they can go make whatever the fuck they want now. And I think to the point on like the industry crashing, from a AAA perspective, that's always possible because that's where 99% of the actual revenue is. But with indie games existing and the democratization of getting your games out into the wild, like you can self-publish on Steam whenever you want.
Yeah.
And word of mouth will get you there if you have zero marketing dollars. You can use Kickstarter, you can use itch.io, and if you have a good idea and passion and talent, it can still break through. Those are the things that will like save us, right?
Yeah.
We're already seeing a crash of the AAA industry, both in terms of the quantity of releases and the reception and actual dollar value of those releases. Like games aren't making money like they used to because they're more expensive, and the quality of those games is not as good. The general bar, right, of literally the game is better than it was 20 years ago, but in terms of like how people feel about those games, the excitement that they get about those games, it's absolutely come down. The live service shit, like microtransactions, all these things hurt gamers' feelings about games and their impetus to buy more games. Indies will always be able to do their own thing.
Right.
And that, I think, will save us, right?
And that's where the innovation is, because the innovation will never happen in the AAA space or even this AA or single A space.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. To an extent, at least.
The new kid on the block comes in with a cool idea that all the big guys try and borrow and innovate or perfect, have their own flavor of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the indie space is going to continue to do that for us. But it's like you can't manufacture that shit, and that's kind of the point, right? So it is inconsistent. Yeah.
I also think, and not to like arbitrarily transition us into my critical hit if y'all have more to talk about, but I also think a thing that will help with this is maybe, I don't know, cognitively dissonant, which is the death of true exclusivity builds more accessibility for games and allows, even though like the quantity is lower, in a lot of cases the quality is lower, the access of gamers to AAA games will at least help those AAA publishers stay afloat. Like
in the short
Xbox,
term,
everything's an Xbox. I think in the long term too. Like
but like that has a knock-on effect of dissolving the identity of the studios that, you know, like it dissolves the identity of a Sony and a Microsoft. And so like that greatly affects, and maybe they're doing this within. So like what does the next generation of console look like, and how is it not just a computer?
So what if it is a computer? Like I think you and I care about a Sony published game, and that it's in a blue box and it's got the PlayStation logo on it. Like we care about that. But I would use to like go to another entertainment industry reference. To me, this just shows a lot of the maturation. What the fuck is the word? The maturing of the video game industry. Because like, do you care if Sony Pictures puts out a movie compared to Paramount Pictures, compared to MGM. Like, that's meaningless. Though they all still exist and they're putting out movies, but the publisher does not matter because it's the director and the actors and the writers. Like, those are the people that we care about. And so I think a studio system, to use another film terminology, we're always going to care about that. We're always going to care about Naughty Dog's game. But if Naughty Dog is releasing a game, it doesn't really matter what console it's on. It doesn't really matter if Xbox publishes it on Xbox or if it's on Steam. We care about it because it's a Naughty Dog game. And to me, through a certain lens, that speaks to the maturation of video games. It's not about the three big players owning their piece of the pie. We are able to access everything else.
It's about being a Naughty Dog game.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And that's what happened with the studio system. Yeah. And the way the studio system worked in the 50s earlier, like Paramount had their own directors and actors that signed. That still does happen to an extent, but now like that to the consumer, that's meaningless. We don't even think about it that way.
Yeah.
That's I brought it up not to say like, oh, I'm pining for the days of console wars or whatever. Like I don't title. Pining for the days of console wars. The dissolution of the identity of these large players, I think, will have a knock-on effect of changing the concept of what their hardware is also like. And I don't know that that's a good or a bad thing. That's
a good point. That's a really good point. Something to consider, because let's say the next I don't know, in this world, the next Uncharted game comes out for both PS6 and Xbox, but PS6 has DualSense fuck you whatever triggers on the controller. Well, if they put a feature for that, like what's the analog for the Xbox version? And is that
you can't do that kind of stuff. Totally.
Which maybe that's fine, but that does factor into, okay, well, that's going to have a direct correlation to what that hardware looks like.
Yeah. So do the hardware manufacturers in an ecosystem where all their properties, let's just go the extreme version of it, all their properties are multi-platform. Does that drive the hardware manufacturers to try and differentiate themselves more, or do they just go the less risky route and just everything is homogenized? And so it's like all the systems are just computers now. And so then why are we even making the hardware now at a certain point when people can just play everything on the computer? And so
why is there an AMC? Why is there an AMC theater and a whatever theater? Like, there's always that competition layer where they have some different features, and like, oh, AMC's got their laser thing. Like, there's always going to be a little bit of that. I think it's totally fair when we think about the lack of innovation that we might see on a console level if everything becomes homogenized. Like, if every console becomes a PC, you're going to lose out on the haptic feedback stuff if not everybody is doing that. And I certainly think over the next 2 console generations, we're going to feel the growing pains of that, right? Where like Microsoft is leaning into the PC first ideology. Doesn't seem like Sony is. Maybe they will, but like they're definitely going to have their own stuff. Their big games are only going to be on their PlayStation 6, whatever it is. Like, that's going to suck. But if the end of it is everything's a PC and you just pick the brand of PC that you like and you get to play everything on that PC, that sounds okay to me.
Yeah.
There are pros and cons 100% either way that it happens. And video games are different than movies. The interactability of it and the types of games that you make, the ways that you engage with games is different than you experience every movie the same way. You know what I mean? And you don't experience every game the same way. So from that perspective, the console should matter and it should have a different experience.
Yeah. And I don't actually think consoles are going away. I do think they will. No. I do genuinely think they will become more homogenized, and
yes,
I think Nintendo is probably the only one that will continue to try and do gimmicks with their system, which, I mean, even the Switch 2 stuff is feeling
your 4D theaters.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and I do, because I do think pouring all the R&D into this gimmick for this one system when your games are going to be running on a bunch of other things and have to like accommodate for their gimmicks, maybe just the gimmicks go away, and so it just becomes homogenized, and it's just another box. But they're always going to want to sell you a box because it's a thing to sell you.
Yes, it's a thing to sell you. And it's still, like, to your original point where we kind of veered off, Kyle, it's got the logo on it.
Right.
Like, that still matters to Microsoft and Sony. They still want your box to have their logo and you associate your favorite games with their brand. That's still gonna be a thing.
Because their margin on someone buying a game on their platform versus a competitor's platform is going to be better. So they are still going to be incentivized to try and get Sony boxes into people's houses.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of already getting there. So to jump into my critical hit, which was really about, it's rumor mill-esque, but it also feels a little bit confirmed. So there was a new job posting. I'm going to pull up the article so that I've got it. It was a new job posting, this Windows Central article on LinkedIn, where they are hiring for, let me look at it, a senior director of multi-platform and account management, where they specifically call out like managing partnerships for publishing with Xbox and Nintendo. And so this could just be things like Helldivers 2, which is coming to Xbox. Sony is publishing Helldivers 2 on Xbox, which is not used to, isn't what used to happen, right? Like Xbox would, or Microsoft would publish, I think with their what's it called? What Grounded, and like when Xbox brought that shit over, like they're publishing it on Sony, and that was a new thing for them to do. And so now Sony, it seems, is going to be following suit with that. And so again, what we've been talking about, I don't think this is an indication that the PS6 is anything, right? Like anything is an Xbox. I don't think anything is a PlayStation 6, but I do think Sony is going to be bringing their games to Xbox. And I think it is not a proactive measure. I don't think this is something they necessarily would have wanted to do 2 years ago, but I think this is a reactive strategy to Xbox's strategy, because Xbox is saying all storefronts are going to be available on our Xbox, which means you will be able to buy God of War on Steam on Xbox, which means Sony's given a cut to Steam and theoretically given a cut to Xbox.
Right.
But if Sony just publishes the game on Xbox, they're cutting out Valve from that thing.
Yeah.
So I think my belief is that is the purpose of this strategy. It's not something that Sony wants to do. It's a business reality of what the market looks like today and how games publishing is going to look going forward, because this is Xbox's strategy. They're not going to pivot away from this.
So 2 questions on that. One, has Xbox released a game day and date on a first party Microsoft game on both consoles yet? Has that happened yet?
No, but they do have one. What do they have coming out? Because there is one.
Did Avowed release on PlayStation?
No. Right?
Okay.
I don't think it did. No.
But that is the plan, to eventually get to a point where it's not like
is Gears remastered day and date?
That's what it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then my follow-up question to that is, do you think when Sony inevitably, if and when Sony inevitably, launches, I don't know, The Last of Us 3 on both consoles, is it a timed exclusive? Is it like, hey, we'll take it for a year and then once it's had its run on PlayStation consoles, then we'll bring it over? Or fiscally, does it make more sense to just go ahead and, let's just release it to the masses?
I think that with Sony's sort of conservatism strategy that they have employed, like only in the last couple of years have they even started putting their games on PC.
Yeah.
And it's exclusively been a year after, 9 months after. Mm-hmm. I definitely think that will be the standard strategy. Eventually, certainly, they will just release day and date. because that's what I mean. That's the logical conclusion of this approach. And I was actually thinking of the Indiana Jones Order of Giants DLC is releasing day one on both, but Gears Reloaded is another case where they're doing that. But yeah, I certainly think that's where they'll end up. I don't know how long it'll take them to get there, but yeah, like, and why not? Like, it's exclusives sold consoles, which then sold games. Like, that was the ideology. But once you open up Pandora's box and start putting your games on Steam, you can't close it again.
Right.
And now people want other stuff in other places. Xbox is already doing that. You kind of just have to go, even if you won the war. Sony won the war, the console war. They won it, period. Between the two of them, Nintendo's kind of fighting their own battle. They're the child who's like has a cardboard sword hitting like a balloon animal. But between the actual console war, Sony fucking won it. And so why not, man? Why not increase your profit margin and just publish your games on Xbox? People are going to play it anyway when it releases on Steam. Why not make more money? It only, like, there's no reason not to. So, all of that to say, the job posting is sort of a rumor mill, but it's also kind of a silver bullet to show that this is what is going to happen. They will be releasing games on Xbox. It will probably be the same strategy that they employ for Steam. 9 months later, a year later, Spider-Man 3 will come out, and then 9 months later, it'll also hit Xbox and Steam. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird times.
It is really
It's all
weird.
happening very fast. But again, I feel like at the end of the day, I think this is a good thing. I think exclusives have always sucked. It's always been bad to not get to play some things because of the box you chose. And it's always been equally bad that other people don't get to play the things I get to play because of the box they chose. And because we were children, we grew up believing that we were better than the other one because of the box we chose.
Right.
It's the same shit we see in the real world too. Because I was born in this state, I'm better than people who were born in this other state.
Because I like this sports team. I
have this color skin.
Yeah.
I am better than people that don't have this color skin. It's ingrained in us to want to be better than. But that doesn't mean that it's good or that it should happen. I think the accessibility of games is only good for gamers. These companies will find a way to make it more profitable, which will eventually make it not as good for gamers. But at least the ideological version of this is, I get to play Halo and The Last of Us 3 on the same fucking box, and I don't have to spend $1,000 to buy two.
Right.
I have to spend
$1,100
to buy one.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. Like, at the end of the day, I think it's a good thing. There are many potential, like, not theoretical, like ideological negatives, like what you're talking about on the innovation side of things with the actual hardware. Like, that totally exists and is valid. But I think weighing the good and the bad, I personally think it's a good thing. Anything else? I feel like we talked about that for a while, but that was a good conversation.
Yeah.
No,
Good topics.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good topics. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to Fantasy Critic. We have a good number of updates, and then August is going to be a very big month for Cody and I's war. Kyle is Nintendo. He's running his own race. But the war between Cody and I is it's getting big time. So
I'll sue you.
July.
The most Nintendo thing I can do.
In July, I had Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 come out, which got an 83. I personally, that's fine. I was disappointed with the 1 and 2 collection had an 89. So I was hoping for high 80s. So that was a little bit of a bummer. The bigger bummer was my new counter pick was for Chronos: The New Dawn, because I was like, that game's not coming out this year. And just like a couple days ago, as of recording, Bloober Team gave a release date for September.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get some negative points for that, I imagine.
It could still be bad.
It could still be bad.
But that kind of goes back to the original point. Even if it's bad, it's probably still going to get like a 73. Like I'm still going to lose points on it in some capacity. But yeah, those were my big updates for the month. Cody, you want to talk about yours?
Yeah, I had, as I mentioned at the top, I played EA Sports College Football 26 came out. That in 84. So what was that for? 14 points?
14, yeah.
Which is pretty good. Also, I had Wheel World. That was my final pick of the redraft. Boy, that only got a 76, netting me only 6 points. That's a bummer. But, you know, that one was sort of like I was really hyped for that game.
Sure.
I was going to choose that regardless.
Yeah.
So, bit of a bummer scored that low. Though, that being said, and then the other big bummer of the month, of course, was when we did our Nintendo or Switch 2 reveal video, of course, when I realized that DK Bananza was in fact coming out and I knew I was going to lose that. That did come out. I lost 23 points on that.
Hell yeah, you did, motherfucker.
That one did pretty good.
Yeah.
Had a 91. But, you know, the future's looking bright. August is my month. I have 4 games. I'm the only one with games coming out in August. Yeah. I have 4 of them, and they all seem fairly promising. So, it should be a good month for me, score-wise.
Yeah, Mafia the Old Country, Sword of the Sea, which I was annoyed that you sniped me on. Gears Reloaded, and Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. I feel like Mafia could swing either way, but it's like probably safe for mid to high 70s at worst.
Yeah.
And then I feel like all the others are mid to high 80s for sure.
Unless Gears Reloaded is just like broken on PS5 or something.
That's true.
Like that's the only thing.
True. Very true.
Yeah, those will be really good for you. And Kyle, you had the biggest one of the month.
Yeah, baby. I got my early snipe, Donkey Kong Bonanza, like Cody said, 91, which netted me 23 points. And then unfortunately, Directive 8020 Dark Pictures game was pushed into next calendar year. So that is a 0 sum for me, which means I have 3 games that aren't coming out this year, right?
GTA 6.
Oh, it's just 2.
Directive. And then I mean like Venom. Like,
right, yeah, the Venom
probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's not officially not happening.
Right. So those are
I also, just a fun thing to note, Kyle, you're the only person with a score above 90.
Yeah, you have the 2
of
highest. Yeah. Donkey Kong and Claire Obscure were both yours, and those both are above a 90.
I know how to pick them, and I know how to not pick them.
Yeah, because you also counterpicked Death Stranding, which was the 3rd highest. So you got negative
minus 20.
Yeah, like looking at the. So I'm still projected to win by like 5 points or whatever it is, which is meaningless. But looking at the list, I'm very nervous personally because I'm getting a 0 for Mario. I'm now scared about Skate Story because it still doesn't have a release date.
Yeah, that's concerning.
And then Outer World, like my counter picks, Outer Worlds 2 is coming out, so I'll get negative points for that. Chronos is coming out, I'll get negative points for that. And then Cody, your counter pick, Judas, that's not going to come out this year. And then Mixtape very well may not come out this year. So on our counter picks, you're going to come out ahead there. You have Silk Song, and I counter picked Silk Song. I think that's like, I don't think anything else matters. I think it's that game.
People are
if
saying
Silk Song comes out.
People are saying it's going to shadow drop at Gamescom.
Well, and they're saying Xbox has said it's going to be playable on the Xbox ROG Ally X, which would indicate that it's coming out, unless it's just like a demo. But yeah, I think if Silk Song comes out, Cody's going to win, and if it doesn't, I'm going to win. And I think it all comes down to that.
Yeah.
Which is dramatic.
For you guys.
Or for Kyle, maybe Silent Hill F gets a 95, and Nino the Hollower gets a 93.
It gets 100. Everyone thinks it's a perfect video game.
And then
Pokemon Legends Z to A.
Grand Theft Auto up
Keeper
to December 31st.
Keeper tanks.
Yeah. It's possible. Anything can happen. Well, we will continue to update y'all next month. Again, that'll be Cody's big month. He's going to see a huge uptick in points no matter how they come out. So that'll be fun. All right, we can do a couple of side quests, which is our email blocks. If you would like to send us an email, you can do so at partyselectpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts on, I don't know, dude, fucking anything we talked about.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the state of the gaming industry, gaming mags. Let us know if you're also checking out Game Informer, what you thought of that. Are you glad they're back? Would love to hear from you. Our first email comes from Larry. The subject line is hello, all caps.
Hi.
And then the actual body of the email. Hello, normal capitalization. I have a business proposal for you. Kindly get back to me for more details. Thank you.
Ooh,
now
remember, before we talk, he said kindly.
He did say kindly.
So keep that in mind.
Bro, did you get back to Larry?
I did not, because Larry is a listener because he wrote us an email. So I figured rather than writing him an email back, I would just read it on the podcast.
You're right.
Larry, let us know what your business proposal is.
Yeah.
Send us another email. Leave a comment on the YouTube video. We would love to hear back.
Obviously, no real person. Well, I would hope no real person would leave an email like that. But that kind of email is so frustrating. It's just to incite a response, so that I know that like, guys, I'm aware that this is not a real thing. But what I'm saying, like, this happens in other.
What do you mean?
Practices.
What do you mean?
This happens in other like, especially at work, like. Hey, reach back out to me before I tell you the thing I'm trying to tell you. Just say it.
Hey, Cody.
Just say it.
Brother, my brother in Christ. I love you. You are my best friend on this planet. You do this all the time. You do this all the time.
Here's the difference.
Okay.
He's not trying to manipulate you, though.
I do that. Well, that, and I do this in the form of a DM, and I don't want to send it, because I want to have like a back and forth, right? Like if I'm sending something to you, I want to converse about. I don't want to just send it and you not be available, and then I'm just waiting, and then maybe I'm not available when you see it, and then we can't talk about it. So I try to get some acknowledgement before, like, okay, for instance, like when I'm there with you in person and I'm speaking and you're fucking playing Minecraft or 7 Days to Die, you're so locked in, you are just not even listening to me. I'm not just going to keep talking to you.
Yes.
I'm waiting for that acknowledgement of you're in the community, you're in the conversation.
Yeah. I'm busting your balls.
No, I know.
Because you're totally right. This has the energy of, hey, can you do me a favor? What's the fucking favor, asshole? That is not a yes or no response from me. What is the favor?
But this is far more intriguing. This isn't a favor. It's a business proposal.
You're right.
I'm dying to know, Larry. Would love to hear from you.
What's his email? Let's dox him.
No, I'm not going to dox him.
But does it look, is it like have a bunch of weird numbers and shit in it?
It was a Gmail address.
Yeah, but like before the Gmail, is it like what someone would make?
LXQ764JQ.
No. I mean, it did have Larry in it, but it did also have some numbers in it. It seemed like an actual human being. I mean, obviously, it's a listener. Of course, I don't know why you're making me defend this.
Do you guys think
it's a listener of the podcast?
Do you guys think Grok is sending emails now?
I don't.
It's from an AI.
I think Grok is a little too busy.
Does Grok have a business proposal for the Party Select podcast? Let's start inserting our name into random prompt requests.
Yeah. Well, all right. We have a second email, which may or may not be from a more real person than whoever this Larry character is. From Mike, the subject line is Star Wars order. What's the best Star Wars order? 4, 5, 1, 2, Cartoon Network Clone Wars series, 3, 6? I've tried this with my kids and they loved it, but curious how you're introducing Star Wars to your kids. I'm guessing that part of it is addressed to me. I'm not aware of any sequels, so I'm not sure why people keep mentioning another trilogy that doesn't exist. And then there's a secondary question, which we will get to after. I also don't know what you mean by sequels, so we'll ignore that part of it. I found it very interesting, Mike, that you included randomly the Cartoon Network Clone Wars series, but not like
here's 4
any
movies,
of the other
like
Star Wars
episodes.
Well, and also
then
like
2 more movies.
You're not including Ahsoka
the Cartoon
or the Obi-Wan
Network
show.
The Cartoon Network Clone Wars, not the CG one, the animated one.
That was on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, originally.
Oh, the CG one was?
Yes.
Oh. I have a feeling this person means the original animated.
Animated one?
Cell shaded cell animated.
Right.
No. Cartoon Network clone. No.
Because that's the good one.
You're so annoying.
Yeah, it's tough being right all the time.
You have such strong opinions about things on which you know nothing.
Dude, I watched like 3 or 4 seasons of that Clone Wars show. It's bad. It sucks.
No.
It's
really
unwatchably bad and lame. Whoa. And that like the actual animation one is fucking badass.
Yes, I'm not arguing that. The animated version is sick as hell.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that. But the Clone Wars animated show was also extremely good. Not all of it is good.
It's a slog,
The parts that aren't good were fucking George Lucas, I'll tell you that. Like, many of the worst arcs and episodes are directly related to George Lucas demanding they do an episode on a thing.
Okay. That doesn't make me feel better about the show.
I know, I'm just saying I want to give a little bit of extra credit to the actual people that made that show and take away additional credit from George Lucas, who is a complete fucking hack. I don't know how he made the original trilogy still to this day. But the actual correct order, if you are introducing a new person to Star Wars, you show them in release order.
Yeah.
Yes.
You show them the original trilogy, and then you show them the prequels.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's it. You don't show them anything else unless they're fall in love with it. And then, congratulations, you've got a new best friend.
Yes.
But
Clone
that's
Wars
the
is
order.
additive, not required, in my opinion.
No, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I think
and then
when I choose to
you
watch
then
Star
show
Wars,
them both seasons of Andor after. And that's the only other thing I would make mandatory.
Yes. Yeah, because I think, like, you should also watch Rogue One. Like, show them Andor and then watch Rogue One. Like, that's a totally fine movie. Solo, I don't think is a good movie, but, like, whatever. Show them Solo. No big deal. The sequel trilogy I would avoid at all cost.
You can skip Rogue One.
I don't even like that movie that much, and I still end up defending it when you talk about it, because you're such an indiscriminate hater.
I
nuance.
I watched season 2 of Andor and then immediately went to watch Rogue One and was like, these characterizations of these characters like don't match up. For one, they don't really match up all that much, and it's a pointless movie.
It's about the journey, not the destination, my friend.
And all
Mr.
the
Elgato.
all the actual Star Wars stuff that's in it, like all the Jedi stuff, is so shoehorned, fan serviced in. It's really it feels kind of what's the word? Juvenile.
Kyle,
I
did
can't
you
see
unplug your
you,
camera
and so I don't
'cause
care
you were
about your
too
opinion.
ashamed?
What?
Your camera's not on.
Well, my camera is hop, skipping, and jumping around. What?
Okay.
I'm gonna restart.
We're getting the Elgato.
I can't see you, so I don't need to listen to you.
Yeah, right.
Correct. Yes. If it's a new person, it's 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. I think after that person has seen it already, it is very fun to watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and watch in chronological order of the story. That is fun to do. But yeah, new viewer, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
7, 8, 9. No thanks. Never.
No.
Never again.
Nope.
Mike also asks, what's your Chipotle order? This is a Shay Hates Everything throwback, if ever there was one.
I'll let you go first. I'm gonna let both of you go first if Kyle can fix his camera before I go.
I don't have a stand. Like, I guess if I have to pick a standard order, I get a burrito bowl, extra white rice, pinto beans, their new like hot honey chicken, which is very tasty.
Yeah.
And then I do mild, medium green, and corn salsa, extra cheese, and lettuce. That's my go-to. But I generally get a different thing every go. I like to do different meats. I get lots of burritos instead of a bowl. I like all their shit. No sour cream, no hot sauce. Those are the only things. Like no fucking tofu.
Mm-hmm.
But anything else, I'll get any combo.
Here's the thing about Chipotle that drives me nuts. Before I get into my very weird order, because Kyle still disappeared because he's ashamed of his minions.
It's just not gonna work for me anymore in Discord. It's very choppy as well in the capture.
That's good.
So good stuff happening.
We can put a funny photo of you up. We look really dumb. Here's the thing about Chipotle. It is the way that they do their pricing is, obviously you pay for the meat. It doesn't matter what form you get, whether it's tacos, burritos, bowl, salad, whatever. You pay for the meat. You pay the same price for the meat. It is so fiscally irresponsible to get anything other than a bowl or a burrito. If you get tacos at Chipotle, you are throwing money down the trash.
Yes. They're good, though. I never order them for that exact reason.
But here's the thing.
Tacos are
get
good.
A bowl and 3 side tortillas.
Yes.
They charge you for tortillas now.
That's fine. That's fine. Because you're getting so much more food.
Yeah.
Like an insane amount
you can
more
make
food.
6 tacos if you get a bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. That drives me nuts. Anyway, Kyle, do you want to give your order?
All right, so ideal order if I don't care about being an asshole, which is very rarely. I will get a bowl with 3 hard shell tacos on the side and 3 soft shell tacos on the side. Just the shells, and the tortillas. And in the bowl is double brown rice, black beans, fajitas. If I'm feeling saucy, I'll get the chorizo. Otherwise, it's a veggie, no protein, besides the beans. I like extra corn salsa, light mild salsa, which is the pico, extra sour cream, extra cheese, and that's it.
And do you make tacos?
Oh, sorry. And then because it's a veggie bowl, I can get guac on the side. And then what I do with the shells, I take the soft shell tortilla, spread some guac on it, wrap it around the hard shell, and then take ingredients from the bowl and put it inside of that.
My man's a fucking Taco Bell worker.
That's pretty legit.
It is fucking incredible.
I'm not a big guac person, but I do like Chipotle's guac. My wife will get chips and guac a lot, and I'll have a couple.
You guys like their queso?
No.
Not really.
Yeah.
It's not gross, but no. I did also try. Do they have
the queso juice?
Yes.
Yes. No doubt.
Yes.
Does y'all's Chipotle have the new like ranch dressing?
Yeah, adobo ranch.
Oh, I
tried that and was not a fan at all of that. Which bummed me out because that sounded really good on a bowl.
Yeah.
I do really like their vinaigrette, which they historically have served with their salads, but you can get it. Sometimes they don't even have it because they never sell it.
Right.
But if they've got it, I'll get that. And I like, again, if I want to be an asshole or it's not busy, I'll get my bowl with my double rice, vinaigrette on the rice, and then the rest of my shit on top.
Sure.
So it soaks into the rice.
Yeah.
So what's your weird order, Cody?
I would love to say that I do this for the cost savings that it provides me, but that's not the reason. I'm a very picky, very, very picky eater. Like I never progressed past like a 10-year-old's like palate.
Well, you are
food.
You are a super taster.
So am I.
Also, yeah.
So am I. I still eat other food.
Well,
and also,
no,
Cody,
but like Cody's level of super tasting is like, salt can be spicy. Like too much salt can seem spicy to you. And it's like it's just
Fair
your
enough.
taste buds.
Literally, my wife made early on when we started dating. She made me scrambled eggs, and she put maybe a dash of pepper in them. I do not like pepper, and I immediately was like, "Oh, this is vile." I could taste it. It was maybe just a dash of pepper in the pan.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. So that being said, and this is what I've gotten. Long time ago, I used to work at Chipotle. It was one of my first jobs.
All three of us worked at Chipotle.
All three of us, yeah. And I've had this order since then with slight variations, but right now, in fact, I went to Chipotle today, and I'll tell you what I got today. I got a burrito, and I racked that up with like 2 to 3 scoops of rice because the only other thing I get is cheese. I get rice and cheese in a tortilla in a burrito, and I load it up with rice and cheese. And then you can get the citrus juice that they put in the rice. I get a cup of that for sometimes if the rice has been sitting out for a while, it's pretty dry and flavorless. So I just get that as sort of a contingency to soak it back up. Because all I get is rice and cheese in a tortilla, I get charged for 2 sides and a side tortilla, and it's like $1.90 for my big ass burrito. And then I get a cup for water, and I walk out of Chipotle, which is normally like when Tess and I go, it'll be like $19 for like 2 drinks, her whatever she gets, and then my burrito. I can walk in and out of there and pay like maximum of like $5 on a bad day.
Yeah.
So I mean that works out in my favor. It's a huge loaded up burrito, and I love it. Fills me up. It's all I need. Sometimes I will, when I'm feeling adventurous, I'll get some corn salsa in there and maybe some lettuce. But then I get charged a veggie burrito. It's like $6 for only like 4 ingredients, and that just never feels worth it to me. So I'm happy with what I got. I've been eating it for years, and it's damn good.
Yeah, it sounds tasty. It does not sound satisfying to me.
Yes.
Like filling, sure, because it's all the rice and the cheese and stuff.
Right.
But it's like
I've done the Cody burrito before. It's a good time.
Yeah, like a lot of my issue is like if there isn't a protein, it's not gonna. It doesn't satisfy me.
That would never happen for this guy. Unless you crack an egg in there, and maybe that'd be pretty good.
Now you're thinking.
Well, that's fun. Leave a comment below with your Chipotle order, the most relevant content to this video game podcast.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Oh, I want Chipotle so bad. I almost went there today, and I really regret it. I should have anticipated it, knowing that this question was here.
This fucking diet I'm on. I want anything.
Oh, yeah, dude. There's no way you can go to Chipotle if you're on a calorie counting diet. You'll go through more than your entire day's worth of calories in like a taco at Chipotle.
See, because we just started this diet, our cheat day is Saturday, because I'm in a wedding on Saturday, 2 days from now. So the first cheat day of the month is like the second day of the month. We're allowing ourselves 3 cheat days a month. So it's going to be a long time before I get to like use a cheat day for something I really want.
Yeah.
So I should just say
I'm sure the wedding food will be good though.
Yeah, but I should just say fuck it and order Taco Bell right now.
Don't do it, man.
It's a slippery slope.
I'm so hungry.
I do not want to. I have
1,100 calories left.
I am absolutely going to Taco Bell when we finish this podcast. So I don't want to be that guy, but I have to be honest with you, and that's absolutely what I'm going to do.
If Kara's still awake,
that's like a podcast recording special. Like that's like throwback shit.
I know.
To 4 years ago when Kyle and I would be chatting after recording our podcast and be like, "Are you going to Taco Bell?" I think I'm going to go to Taco Bell at like 1:30 in the morning.
A regular Cantina chicken burrito is only 54 calories. That can't be right.
That's not right.
There's no way that's right. That Cantina chicken burrito, though, is
good.
So good.
Yeah.
We have to move on. This is not the Fat Guy Food Podcast, which is a good name for a podcast.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Let's talk about August game releases. We'll run through chronologically here. Cody, you're starting us off.
Am I? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Take down the Taco Bell menu. Let's refocus. I know you had the tab open.
I'm so hungry.
Let's see. Starting on the 8th of August, we have Mafia: The Old Country coming to you on the PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC.
On August 12th, we have Echoes of the End coming on Xbox Series X and S, PS5 and PC. This game gives me Forspoken energy. A little bit.
I have never heard of this.
It was in a sizzle reel at some thing. And like it is very pretty, but the gameplay trailer definitely makes it look like, hey, small team, it's only pretty because Unreal Engine 5 and like meta human stuff.
Okay, yes, I'm seeing gameplay. I am seeing rocks appear out of the ground from nowhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm very interested to see like what is the actual video game like under this pretty facade of Unreal Engine 5, because I feel like that's an interesting time in games that we're entering. Is small studios can make AAA looking games that play like B tier small studio games. That's going to be a very weird.
Right. Okay, on the 19th is Sword of the Sea. This is on Cody's Fantasy Critic. I am incredibly hyped. This is coming to PlayStation 5 and PC, and it's on the like PlayStation Extra, whatever, PlayStation Plus tier, so I don't even have to pay more money for it. I'm very psyched. This is from the team that made Abzu, which is part of the team that had made Journey. They also made The Pathless, which I liked less than Abzu, but yeah, this is a Shay game for sure.
Yeah.
On the 26th of August, we have Gears of War Reloaded coming to Xbox Game Pass, PS5, and PC.
On the 26th, I mentioned this already, Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox, which is super fun. I'm excited, and it's crossplay, obviously, with PC and PlayStation 5, so I'm really excited for the influx of new divers joining the cause. I am bummed that they aren't also timing like a big new thing with this, but I want to give Arrowhead credit. Like maybe there is, and they just haven't said anything about it. They're trying to tease and surprise. So I'm hoping there's new content to go alongside this.
The day after, on the 27th, Story of Seasons: The Grand Bazaar releases. It's a new, so it used to be Harvest Moon, and then it became Story of Seasons, and they kind of like flip-flopped names. This is on Switch, Switch 2, and PC, so it's the new big one in that franchise. Then the day after that, on the 28th, Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition releases, obviously just on the Switch 2. That has some additional content stuff in it that I don't know a whole lot about, but I never played Kirby and the Forgotten Land initially, so I might pick this one up to try it out and see if my Nintendo platformer curse can be broken or not. Same day on the 28th is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater coming to PS5, Xbox, and PC. Hell fucking yeah. And then on the 29th, the day after that, it's a bunch of like sequential releases. Is Lost
and the next day.
Yeah, in the next day. Is Lost Soulacide coming to PS5 and PC.
That's the Final Fantasy like
looking
made by that like single dev, or at least originally started by that single dev. This is a game that when it was first revealed, this is a game that I was like, this isn't a real video game. So now it's coming out. So we'll see if it's a real video game.
Yeah.
Also on the 29th, Shinobi Art of Vengeance coming to PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. This is a sort of a new take on Shinobi, featured in the Game Informer magazine. I think it looks very cool. It's similar to the new Ragebound. What was the game that just came out? Ninja Gaiden. Thank you. I feel like they operate a somewhat similar space, so curious to see how that one comes out.
And then some point in August, we don't have a date, but we do know that it'll be sometime in August, is the Seat Taken, coming out on PC, Switch, iOS, and Android. This is a cute little sort of puzzle game that's been in a couple Next Fests with a demo that it's like logic puzzle type levels. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Also, sometime in August, no date, is Pig Face, all in caps. This is on PC only. It's a sort of a retro graphical style survival horror game that gives me a lot of like Condemned, Criminal Origins type vibes, with a little bit of like mask wearing stuff like The Purge thrown in there. So this looks like an interesting kind of boomer shootery survival horror game.
Hell yeah. Super violent.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's August. Some like big hitters in there. Very like a surprisingly good month for being in the summer slumps.
Yeah. Very
I will
backloaded.
say, I really wanted to make sort of the C our game select game, but y'all are losers and don't like good video games.
No, I'm gonna be playing the shit out of
anyway.
that, brother. I can't wait for that.
Shocker, it was Kyle. Child. But instead, we're gonna do a game that comes out very early in the month, which I don't know, I'm a little worried about, but I'm excited to like play it and check it out anyway, which is Mafia: The Old Country.
Yeah.
When this was first announced, it looked sick, super narrative driven. They weren't trying to just ape Grand Theft Auto, like they felt like they were really doing their own thing. And then I feel like as time has gone on, some of the preview coverage has been sort of mixed, which is making me a little bit nervous about it. But the story looks really cool. It looks beautiful. The setting and the time period are like really unique and interesting. So yeah, that'll be a fun one for us to check out, I think.
Yeah.
And it's good because it's not like it is fun to pick games where we play them together, but I feel like we haven't had great success with that yet. Like with Destiny and FBC Firebreak, like some of the games we've chosen to play together have not stuck. So this one at least is a single player one. But if you are planning on checking out Mafia: The Old Country, we would love to hear from you and hear your thoughts, and we could chat about that. Leave a comment in this video, come back to it and leave a comment here, or you can send us an email, partyselectpod@gmail.com, with your thoughts, and we'll include it in our conversation the next time. This is normally the block where we would talk about the Party Select August content schedule. We are bad at sticking to the Party Select content schedule that we plan. So I feel like it has lost a lot of value. The last thing we want to do is be like, here's all the cool shit we're going to do. And then we end up doing different cool shit than what we planned on. And I don't want anybody to like be bummed or like, they didn't do this thing they said they did. That's just a bad experience. So what I will say is we will definitely be doing top games of 2003 in mid-August. And we will definitely have another flagship episode the first Monday of September. So look forward to those. But the best thing you can do for all the other cool shit that we're going to do that we don't know about yet, or we will change our minds about, subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. Hit the notification bell. Follow us where you're listening to this on your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever. Just do that. Just like follow. It's not hard. You just hit like a button and then you're good. And then we'll always show up for you.
Do it.
Just do it.
Fucking loser. Just fucking do it.
Jesus Christ.
And that's how you can join the party, you know? Join our party. And then we'll be
family.
Yeah.
Come on, play the Mafia game with us.
I like that.
You come to me on the day of a podcast episode and you want to leave a comment, you should have left it weeks ago when the game came out. Don't miss the boat.
I love that we can't see you while you're doing it.
Oh, fuck. That's right. That's it. That is good. That's better. Trust me, you don't want to look at me.
But most importantly, if you have a business proposal for us, leave it in the comments. Write us an email. Also, I'd love to see comments. What do you think Larry's business proposal is? I have some thoughts. I have some realistic thoughts and also some fun thoughts. But let us know what you think. And maybe we'll hear back from Larry. Who knows? Send us another email, dude. We'd love to hear from you. That is going to do it for this episode of the Party Select podcast. Thank you all for listening and watching. Thank you, Kyle and Cody, for joining. Thank you, not to Kyle's camera, but audio's still working. So there's that. Head to the YouTube channel to see however we figured that out. I don't know if we need to like put a photo over your thing for that.
No, I mean, like, it's working. It's just choppy.
I gotcha.
It just won't share to Discord anymore. So
yeah, we shouldn't do anything about that. We should absolutely just have a bad video experience of your camera. We should
only
not
for like the last 25
try
minutes.
To be creative about that. Yeah, dude, it's only 25 minutes. What's the big deal? Let's just make bad content on purpose.
People don't watch the end till the end of the video.
It's only 25
anyway.
minutes.
Your guys' video
You're
is
totally
fine.
right.
2/3
Well,
good.
that's all that really matters.
And let's be real, dude. No one's looking at your camera anyway.
God,
You know
I
what I'm
hope
saying?
not. I hope not.
Oh, I got to put my smolder back on.
We can instead grab that face you were making when you were frozen, Shay. We'll just put that over your camera the whole time.
Yeah, we'll use that photo for me. We'll use whatever embarrassing photo for Kyle, and then we'll go
I'll
back.
just be
Cody,
the only one in motion.
No, we'll go and do what we were gonna do, the episode that you missed, where I was gonna put. I found an old high school photo of you on Facebook.
Perfect.
That I was gonna do, and then Kyle correctly talked me down because that would be rude because we didn't give you a heads up. But we'll use that in your emo phase that we all have.
Oh, can't wait. Can't wait.
All right, that's it for Party Select. Thank you all so much. We will be back, as I mentioned, at some point with more cool shit, and then in September with another one of these big boys, chunky fellas.
Oh yeah.
Have a great life. Peace out.